I think we weren't live, working, all good? Oh, yeah. Get this out of my head. The demon is awake tonight. Oh, I'm terrified. What if she breaks free? Will this be the end of me? And so on. Alright, let me just fade that out there. Yeah. And then turn it back up because I will forget to do that later. Try and play some music and be like, what happened? Hello? I'm really great at planning live streams. Amazing. No, so I have a PO box. I think if I enter it in here, you can read about sending me stuff. Hello! Hey! Leo, hey! And now it's all on screen. Yeah, okay, so I hope I've fixed the latency on this stream. I went for like the medium one, so not super low, but hopefully not like 30 seconds of delay. Yeah, no, I have a PO box, and I've been sent things from overseas, and it just took a long while to come through the international postage system. So, yeah, everything's sort of come at once. Well, when I say everything, two things. We have one thing from Scribe Chronicler sent in like October, and it turned up a few days ago. And then we also got, I'll just make sure I'm not doxing anyone. No, I'm only doxing myself. Hey! And funnily enough, where is the other one? So the first thing that I got in my PO box was this one from Paper Vampire, and yeah, there you go. Having a fantastic time in Romania. Anyway, so generally when I've been getting things in PO box, I like open them somewhere else, just out of paranoia. But then this one, even though like that was written in shaky handwriting, I'm like, I recognize that handwriting. I know who that is, and you know, it feels legit. So shall we open that one first, because that one's small and easy, and then I will get on to the big box and explain Scribe Chronicler's things, because I don't think he has those like video explanations anymore. So I will do that and kind of try to recreate it, but obviously it's not my art, so I probably won't do it justice, but I'll try. Anyway, so yeah, this one I think was sent like a month ago. And yeah, it took a while to get here, but that's international postage for you, and God knows what role Australia Post played. I think this was okay, but with Scribe Chronicler's stuff, I think they might have originally put it, like, you know, I got the card in my PO box and they'd had to like manually write the thing on it, so I think maybe they originally put the card in someone else's PO box. But anyway, we're ready. Ba-dun! Oh, it's so cute and wintry. We don't really have winter in Australia. Yeah, like with actual snow. I mean, there is snow in Australia, but you have to go up to the snowy mountains. We're so creative with what we call places. And our winters are definitely not snowy like that. Sorry, our Christmases. Did I say winter? I don't even know. Like, our winters aren't snowy here in Sydney. And yet Christmas. I mean, how do they, you know the Jingle Bells song? It's sort of like, riding through the bush in a rusty Holden ute, kicking up the dust, Esky in the boot. I forget how the rest of it goes, but it's like Christmas in Australia on a hot and sunny day. Oh my god, I can't read it. Dun, dun, dun. What does that say? I'm going to guess that it's basically like Merry Christmas type stuff, but a real Dutch card, that's what that says. Yeah, shall I like type that into Google Translate and try and figure it out? Where is Google Translate? Sorry, I haven't set it up for you to see my screen. Detect language. Pretty good. So I'm trying to copy it. Pretty good. Cursed again. In sounds like something that Monty Python would say. Oh, it's Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Cool. Shall I play that?
Prettige kerstdagen en een gelukkig nieuwjaar.
There's no way I can pronounce that.
Prettige kerstdagen en een gelukkig nieuwjaar.
Okay, I'm not even gonna try. I am not even gonna try. That's amazing. Yay! Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Cute little bird thing. I'm not sure what these plants are, but the red ones look slightly ominous. Like little ninja stars or something on it. I don't know. Am I the only one who sees that? But cute! I'm going to put that up with the other card where I can see it. The other one's fallen over though. Oh my goodness. I guess I'll fix them up later. Yay! I got a Christmas card. I didn't get really... Oh, I'll fix that later. I don't think I got Christmas cards. Really, like... Oh no, here, this is... Well, it's like more of a label, Christmas label from my godmother. And then there was like... I don't know, another label or something from someone else. Okay, cool. Scribe Chronicler stuff. Now I'm just going to check the box, make sure I lift it up the right way, because I don't want to dox his details. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I can see it arrived on the 28th of December, and so they just, like, fucked up where they put the card, didn't they? It took them a while to tell me about it, but still, like, October to December. That took a while. Actually, when did I get the notification? I probably deleted the notification. I can't even remember, like, what's been happening day to day. I'm so all over the place. What do they call it when they send me stuff? Something in my P.O. box. Is this really all my deleted? Oh my god. P.O. box. So, the card, I think, came on Monday, and the other one, it's already disappeared from my deleted items. Oh well. It wasn't that long ago. But yeah, so, this is a pretty full-on box, and it's quite heavy. Like that, oh my goodness. That's a decent bit of mail. I will pull that out very gently. There's so much bubble wrap. You guys know, like, I like bubble wrap. Be gentle. I don't want to damage it. Woo! Alright, put the box away. Alright. So, yeah, this is from Scribe Chronicler, and I guess I will open it and then explain it, because, like, I know roughly what it is. And I think there was a video on there a while ago, but I think he deleted a lot of those videos. Ooh, I'm just trying to, like, take the tape off really gently. Hey, that actually came off nicely, so I can actually play with the bubble wrap instead of fighting tape. Oh no, I bugged that one a little bit. Yeah, let me know if this sounds okay. I changed one setting because I think on another stream when I started to get quiet it was cutting out a bit, but you guys didn't really care because I'm such a nutcase that you just thought that I was quiet on purpose. Goodness me, small tape. I'm probably gonna bugger this one as well. Hey! Oh, I'm getting like a... This is really like... Cute Hearts wrap. So I think we've got like one oh, we got a... Oh, there's two of them in bubble wraps. I'll put them over there and I'll sort them out later. Oh my god, there's so much bubble wrap. And I just know, like, I'm gonna end up with people just sending me bundles of bubble wrap. I probably shouldn't put the idea in anyone's heads. Actually, you know those... Have you seen those memes on Facebook where it's like, if you don't tag... If you... No, tag so-and-so, and if they don't reply within a certain amount of time, they have to send you... And then, you know, something ridiculous, or they owe you, like, McDonald's nuggets or something. I tagged a guy in one of them, like, you know, a guy who's really into tech. And he didn't see it. And the next thing I know, he's replied to it saying done. And, you know, I thought, this is back when I was doing audio. And so I thought, to me, it looked like some kind of cable. And, you know, he knew about that kind of stuff. And he was into lighting. So I thought it was just going to get some cables that I could play with, but when it arrived, it was this massive box. I can't remember if I posted publicly on social media or what, but it's this massive fucking box, and it turned out to have air conditioning piping or something in it, and just like, oh my god, that stuff's not cheap either. So for a gag, he sent me this air conditioning coil. I'm just like, wow. Yeah, so trusting the internet. I mean, that wasn't even just the internet. That was like someone I knew in real life did that. Bloody hell. Oh my goodness, there's so many layers of bubble wrap. I think I've got enough bubble wrap, so don't send me any more bubble wrap. Send me things wrapped in bubble wrap, just not the bubble wrap itself. Oh my god, it's so well packed. This is something I like about artists, is artists will, you know, actually take care with their stuff. Ooh, and we're starting to see our first thingy here. Look, goggly things. Let me get them. Oh, can I get them out already? I can. Oh, yeah. So, you know, it looks like steampunk goggles, right? But steampunk goggles are based on welding goggles, and I think these are like proper welding goggles, like with actual... Trouble is I gotta take off my glasses. Oh my god, everything's green. And it's like, wow. So it's supposed to be like legit eye protection, and why do I need eye protection? We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, so they're like, as I understand it, fully legit welding goggles. Oh, and he's like, so, I don't know how many of you know, but like I have like this code that I made up in high school, and yeah, I think Scribe Chronicler, I sent him a thing that kind of like helps you decode it, and that is my code. I gotta figure out like what the orientation is. Okay. Yeah, so it says Destroy America, and then Destroy America. So, that's sick. It's like customized. So I'll explain like how this is done, but it's like these cardboard things with the edges burned and the patterns burned. A bit hard to show you because my lighting is so garbage, but if we start in this one, hang on, which angle is better? I don't know. And then this one starts like that. Hey! So like customized welding goggles. That's really cool. And like that's such a cool idea to put them on the rim like that. Let me just put them aside and keep opening. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just let me know if I think the audio is okay. It's looking okay. Then again, I could just be talking and I wouldn't even know. No, what does it say? Stream is healthy. Okay, good. It would tell me if it wasn't working. Unwrap more stuff. I can see a bit of red in there. Oh my god. Here we go. Oh my god. And glimpses. Glimpses of stuff. Building a decent pile of bubble wrap too. Oh my god! Oh no, I buggered this one a little bit. That's right, we'll pop it. Oh no, those ones are already popped. Oh my god. Oh my god, what is... So, the next thing that I can see, I just... Oh, that's got some weight to it. Holy shit. This looks like gear. So, I'm gonna take this out. Gear for the goggles. Hiya. For a proper fit. Nose bridge. Oh! Yeah, okay, it's got all these, like, bits and pieces. I get treats when you This is adorable. I get treats when you review our products. Oh, that's adorable. Oh my god. Yeah, that company knows how to get me interested. So what, this is some padding for the goggles to make them comfier. Those look like clear lenses. And then, holy shit, these are the heavy ones. Let's go a bit carefully because I'm not really sure. Oh, those are legit. These are different lenses. So like what? Oh my god, yeah. So they have like the greenish tinge to it as well, but they're even more like darker. Although I'm trying to put it in front of my... I think these ones... I can barely see anything through those. Wow! I can see like my little LED thing over there. But so these ones are like the thickest. I think there's, yeah, different thicknesses. So that's hardcore. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah, it kind of makes me think of, so, you know, I've tried to go to uni and I quit so many courses. I mean, you know, I did finish 2 in the end, you know, my undergrad and my postgrad, but at one point I tried to do mechatronic engineering and medical science, and the theory part of that would have been fine for me, but we also had to do, you know, with the engineering side of things, we had to go to these workshops, wear steel-toe boots, and they were going to teach us shit like welding, but I only went to like 1 or 2 classes because, you know, once I actually got into the uni classes, I was so bored because everything goes so slowly. But yeah, we would have done welding in that. But like with more modern welding stuff. But it's really interesting. It's really cool that like someone actually makes the like old school stuff and like it's not just costume. Because most of like, you know, all the steampunk cyber goggles that I have, they're just costumes. But this is like fully legit. So I guess you can like take these off in the same way that you can, I mean, I won't do it now, but I guess you can take those off in the same way that you do it with the other ones. Because I remember when I opened the Atomic Guys ones, I wanted to switch the lenses over for symbolic reasons. And so, yeah, I've done that. But, wow. If I take off the last bits of bubble wrap. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where you buy that stuff. That's amazing. And I do think Scribe Chronicler uses that as, like, eye protection for doing his artwork. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I gotta be careful. I don't want to, like, bump everything off. Whew! Okay. Quick look. I'll just hold it very carefully. Check it out! It's my colors. The like, red, black, and white theme. So, just be very gentle. I think, let me figure this out. As I understand it, there's magnets involved. But I don't want to break anything. I'm a little bit scared. Oh, I'm a bit scared. Yeah, there's like heaps of layers. Okay. I don't want to like break stuff live. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So, oh, I see. They all like connect to each other. That's really clever. Favorite colors? Favorite's hard because like when I was younger, I got quite into the color blue. I don't remember why. I was just into the color blue. With, hang on. If that's magnetic and that's supposed to... Oh, I got it. Okay. I got it. I figured it out. Yeah. So I got into blue for a bit. I went through a pink phase purely because the Aibo robot dog, they programmed it to react to pink. Probably because pink is such a bright color that it would be easier for it to pick up. But like with all my, you know, branding and other things like that, the red and black is a big part of that. And then the white is also symbolic. And so, yeah, this is how it's meant to sit. And like that. So, but take, I think, here we go. So we got one like bit here and it reveals that under there. And then there's like a lens in there. I think I meant to take off the very top lid. But like, I don't know, he uses such strong magnets. I gotta figure out how do I know I open that somehow. Yeah, getting like, just like, oh yeah, that is some strong freaking magnet. Like, look at that. Holy shit. So here's a lens. Oh, look, my hand looks massive. That's crazy. Okay, so the top is like this, and it says like create and destroy. It's sort of a stylized yin yang. I think these are like, are these eyes? Which is kind of cool. Okay, so this is unintentional, I think, because there's no way Solo Scribe Chronicler would know this, but eyes are a big symbol for me. And also when I was doing like the whole RPG thing, there was this whole like story arc involving angels and like 6 wings, and biblical angels like have all these eyes on it, and so like that's like that part of my brain is going off like, oh yeah, I recognize that. So we got this, and then we flip it over and we got the opposite. That's really cool. That's a really good design. And so that's like the lid for this, because like these are, from what I understand, really strong freaking lenses. I mean, look at that. Look at that, look at that magnification, and this is just a little one. And it's different to like glass. I don't know how these operate, but there's, I don't know if you can see the texture. It's got like, this side is textured. I think yin yang is more Chinese. But you know, Japanese will adopt things whenever they feel like it. But yes, it's like got all these concentric circles, and somehow that's bending the light to do the thing. Anyway, so, and yeah, so like his hidden magnets in there somehow. I cannot actually see them. It's just like, holy shit, how did you... I guess it like must be between bits of the stuff and like put together, or I don't know. Anyway. Clipped my finger! I'm good. Okay, so we've got that first piece. The next piece underneath. Hey! And so I remember watching videos on his channel before he deleted stuff that had to do with like this circle, what is it? I think it's like a circle of life pattern. And so like, you know, you've got your circles like that, and then you've got a circle around it, and yeah, it makes a pattern. But then if you notice, like with these patterns, not so much on this one, but on these ones, like this is created by taking like a huge sheet of these circles interacting and then cutting out, you know, along certain, choosing certain lines to cut around on. So that's how these patterns are formed. And like you can see around here, like when you choose different circles, you get really different shapes. So it's kind of like an interesting motif. Let me try and get this off. I'm so scared of these magnets. Oh my god. This is the thing about like, there's some art forms that I would like to try, but as a small female, I'm just like, I don't know how I could handle certain things. I'm so scared of breaking it as well, because he's clearly put a lot of time and effort into this, and I'll explain like how these patterns are done in a bit, but shit, that magnet. Oh, okay. I'll just like try and take it off. That one. Holy shit! Check it out, I took off that top bit, and then there's like these faces under there as well, and those are made with the same pattern. Holy crap, check it out. That's genuinely kind of freaky. Oh my god, and like on the back too. This is really cool design. Bloody hell. But yeah, no, let me try and get these guys separated. I'm pretty sure they come apart. It's all like, yeah, because there's 2 layers, so it'd definitely be. I'm just like, I don't think I can get it off. Oh no. Oh my god. It's not budging. Maybe I'm too weak. Yeah, like I could use a tool or something, but I think also the other thing, because it's been in the post for a few months, maybe the things have settled together and stuck together a bit. Yeah, I think also some of the paint has kind of transferred a bit. You can kind of see, like, with the speckly bits, some of the paint's transferred. Oh, I almost got it. And, like, I can smell burning. I can smell the... Oh! So we got the white, and then... Let me take this off. And it's really cool how, like, this, you know, like the grey, this sort of patterning. I don't know if that's an intentional patterning, but I like that grungy aesthetic. That's really cool. So, yeah, and I really like that bright red. And then we've got another lens. I'm a little bit scared of. Maybe I'll put my hand behind it. Oh! Look how big that magnification is! Holy shit! And it's the same sort of thing where it's got like that texture, but obviously, I'm not sure how they make it that much more magnifying. Like, is it how the lines are spaced? Maybe it is. It does strike me as like maybe the lines are spaced differently. Oh my god. I put my face behind it. Oh, I can't even see because... yeah. Anyway, let's not get distracted. I will... Which side? This side, okay. Which side was... There's like a pattern to it, and I've already like... It's that way. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so I'll put this one back on top there. Whoa! It's very snappy. Like, there's... I don't know where he found such hardcore magnets, but like... Holy shit. Okay, and then we got this pattern. So, like I said, more of those interconnecting circles have formed that. And I'm really glad he included the, like, hexagon outline so I can remember which way is which, because, yeah. I was struggling with that. Okay, can I get these? Oh, yep, got him. So, yeah. This. And inverted. Yeah. And then, ooh, this one. Even bigger. I'll put my hand behind it. And it's like... Wow. Oh my god. So we've got, yeah. And this one has like the interconnecting circle things have made like little spikes as well. And you got the reverse patterning. Oh, cool. And so like on this side, see how this one has spikes and this one doesn't? And then when you flip it over, it carries over as well. So let's put that back. Was it this way? I think it was this way. Didn't get me. It didn't get me. Okay. And then put this on. Hey. Alright. Now this one, because it's the bottom plate, it's sandwiched. So, you know, like each one is covering a different thing. But then this is the bottom one. So, yeah. Has a bottom plate. Can I open it up? These magnets, oh my god. I think I can do it. Let's go gently as well, because I don't want to... If the paint's sticking together, I don't want to peel too much. Oh, But the whole thing is like, so like with my cult, I think I can't remember what video I explained it in, but it's like to create you must first destroy kind of thing. So if things get a little bit wonky, it's fine. Okay, so we have that same pattern there, but this one has the outline for the other ones to go on. And we've got massive lens there. So if I take this off, you can see it's like sort of the same as the other one, but without the hexagon, and so that's how I know it's the base plate. Whoa. It's like, hang on, get the angle right. It's really distorting the heck out of things. Whoa. I don't even know how to aim. Ooh. Like, you could create some kind of weird video effects, like music video kind of thing out of that. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Did it show my face? I can't see because like I can't see through it to what's, I guess I kind of can. It's making my eyes feel funny though. Holy shit. And then yeah, this one has the create and destroy and the little eyes on it as well. And yeah, that hexagon thing, like, there's just the number 6, you know, like, not even intentionally, but, which way was it around? Oh, I forget which way it was around. I think it probably doesn't matter too much, but, just be careful of these magnets, they scare me. I'll put it back together again, and then I'll explain how this is done, because that's the like really impressive fucking, I mean this whole thing, but so there we go, I got a whole thing. So what's going on here, let me just, yeah, what's going on here is you know, it's in his name, Scribe Chronicler. What he does is creates these patterns by using these insane lenses to burn patterns into, I think it's like cardboard, and then he's like coated it with something so it doesn't feel like cardboard anymore. I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's coated with something. So starts off with a piece of cardboard, draws on the design as a guide, and then I think if you use the black it also attracts the heat better, so then when you do the lenses and you focus it, like, you know, when people that old cliche of the kid with the magnifying glass burning ants, but instead of ants he's burning these designs, yeah, draws them on, then burns it. So like, this is all hand burned, by the way. He's been experimenting with on his channel like a laser cutter thing lately, but this stuff's all hand burned because this is from before he got the laser cutter. So he spent all this time doing all this in like my design. Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, and like with my like create and destroy, there's very destructionism, very my cult kind of vibes in there. Yeah, and so you've got different levels of lenses for like different strengths, I guess. Yeah, and you're just using the power of the sun, focusing it, and then burning it into this. So that's what the Solar Scribe Chronicler is, like Solar Scribe. You're using the sun to scribe things. And then the reason that I think it's set up like this is so that they're like covers for the lenses. Because like if you're just walking around, like you've got to go outside into the sun to do this kind of stuff. But if you're just holding lenses, you don't want to accidentally burn something that you didn't mean to. So that's why they're done like, he does them like this, to cover up that lens for safety reasons. And like, you know, you don't want to start doing it until you're ready and you got your goggles on for sun protection, because eyes, that's important. You know, like you're looking at something really bright. It's like the same thing with those laser cutter things. You're not supposed to look directly at them. And when I was doing it at, you know, I posted videos of that place where I was able to do the laser cutter thing. That one had like a yellow case over it so that we were able to look at it without wearing eye protection. But when you have those laser cutters that don't have a protective thing over the top, you need to, like, you shouldn't look at it. It's the same thing as, like, you don't look directly at the sun, and you can imagine if you're focusing all this sunlight through one of these lenses, and it just makes it really, really bright. It's the same thing when you go skiing, because the snow reflects a lot of light, or I suppose if you're from somewhere where snow actually happens. Yeah, you just shouldn't have the sun. I mean, maybe it's more of an Aussie thing because our sun is quite bad. We've got it's got quite strong UV rays, so you don't want that reflecting into your eyes. That's why when you go skiing, you should have ski goggles. Although also, like, you know, the air's dry and horrible, but yeah, ski goggles to just protect your eyes and all that. So, like, he's actually thought through all those different things. Yeah, for this, like, art form that he's clearly, like, spent a lot of time refining and figuring out. Like, look at this! Even the edges have been burned to create a finish, and so that you don't actually see the cardboardiness or however it's made. I'm pretty sure it's cardboard. Maybe it is wood, though, because it is so heavy. I don't know. I genuinely can't tell if that's, like, wood or cardboard. I just remember him saying cardboard. I suppose could you do that with wood? Maybe a particular kind of wood? I have no idea. It's, like, been painted and finished up, so yeah. And I don't think he has the videos anymore, but for his, so, like, this one, I guess, is for me to use. I think I'd be a little bit scared, so, like, and I don't want to mess it up either. Like, you know, if I aim something wrong and then burned a pattern into it by accident, I don't know, I'm like scared to try this stuff. I think it's like a really interesting way to create art, but I'm like, holy shit, I don't know that I could pull that off. But yeah, no, he's clearly spent a lot of time working on this technique, and he had one, like, he had his own setup, or was working on it. I don't know if it was actually finished at the time that the videos got deleted, but had like a staff and had the lens on the end of the staff and then the little covers on it, so like you can walk around like a wizard with your sort of old school laser beams. I don't know, it reminds me of, was it ancient Greece? Maybe an ancient Greek myth, or I don't think they know whether it's legit or not. But that story of that guy, and he made the tower with all the mirrors to try and, like, laser beam, use the sun to laser beam the ships out at sea. It makes me think of that kind of vibe. And then I think on my Age of Mythology game, if you play the one-player campaign mode, there is a point where I think a tower like that is involved. It's either in the campaign or it's like in the, you can build your own level and you can actually drop these like laser beam towers around. But no, I think it is in the campaign mode. Maybe I should actually play that again and see if I can live stream it. I think the main problem with live streaming it though was the screen ratio might be a bit off, but I don't know. That's a problem for later me, because I do have on my channel, I've got that poll, which is like, what game should I play next? Either Portal or Starbound. Portal looks like it's going to be my next game because it has just consistently been ahead. Early on was a bit iffy, but yeah, it's definitely pulled ahead, and it's just... So, next game I'll play is Portal. But yeah, that's that. I think that gives you an idea of, like, basically how it works. It's a shame you can't go and see, like, what this is all about, because those videos aren't up anymore, but, like, it's pretty, you know, like, you gotta think to do something like that, and then to get it to, like, this level where you can make something like this, and the idea to use magnets to keep it all together as well. Some clever shit. Yeah, so, thank you, Scribe Chronicler. Like, that took a long time. I thought about making a standalone video, but I've been so all over the place lately that I'm just like, nah, I'll do it live. And so now I can all see this. I'm just a bit scared if I lift it up too much. I don't know how strong, because it's heavy, I don't know how strong the magnets are. But, yeah. Where will I keep that? I'm not even sure. I've got to find a place for it. I'll just put it on the box so I don't bugger it up. And then where's those goggles? Ugh, because like even the goggles he's turned into artwork. So these, I'm not sure exactly how, but like I guess those would have been, you know, burned with that same technique and then cut out and stuck on. And yeah, see, this is the other thing. Like if you look at it, shit, it's really hard to get the lining. If you look at it, right, so those are actually quite small. Like, look at it next to my finger. And so not only has he done the little character inside, like the little letter, he's also burned the outside of those. I think these are definitely cardboard. They feel like cardboard because he didn't paint them. But yeah, the outside's burned so that it, like, goes seamlessly on, and then it doesn't look like cardboard. Like, it looks fully legit, and the brown actually leaving it unpainted gives it a bit more of that steampunk vibe. But yeah, no, my point being what I was getting at. Okay, so that is a level of refinement, I reckon, to be able to aim it like that. You know, I can imagine me trying to do something small and intricate. I would just fuck it up so badly. Oh dear. So yeah, that should take some practice. And I guess that's why his channel's called Scribe Chronicler, because that's the thing that he spent so much time working on. Yeah, so I don't know if he's posted much lately. I don't know, I've been really slack about watching YouTube videos. I haven't actually kept up with my subscriptions very well. Where's his channel? There's his channel. Yeah, I don't think he's posted anything in a little while. And yeah, it's only the laser cutter thing at the moment. But hey, I'll chuck his channel in. Oh, keyboard's all the way over there. I'll grab the channel so you can check it out, and then, you know, hopefully he'll post something to do with that at some point. And maybe you'll be able to see it in action, because like that was pretty cool. I think the main thing for him is, you know, being able to film it was a little bit difficult from memory. You know, trying to get the angle right and having to do it outdoors and trying to film outdoors. Oh my god, I'm no good at it. I think you've seen some of the ones where I've tried to film at the park and I just get very quiet when people are around. Just don't really feel comfortable with that. And that's also why I've ended up live streaming so late, because a lot of stuff going on at home. Yeah. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. Anyway, like, that's kind of all I really had for now. I kind of just wanted to get that out there and, you know, actually finally open the things. Especially that one came first, and then I got the Christmas card as well. And yeah, I'm just like, I have such a backlog of things that I've been working on, and I haven't gotten around to so much stuff. And then the past few days, after all the, like, I finally did my last big socializing thing, and then I've just been so exhausted. So I actually haven't done much makeup stuff except for playing with lipsticks. And then last night I was dreaming about how do I fix this lipstick problem. Oh my god, like, it's invading my dreams. But then I think I must have, like, woken up briefly and then fallen back asleep, and then I had my recurring nightmare of all my teeth falling out, which is just like, and it's so convincing at the time, and I'm just like, oh, and so it's not like they all fall out at once though. It's like I'm going somewhere, and I think in this particular dream they were coming out like 2 at a time, and so like I would bite funny or just like move my mouth funny and feel a couple more come loose, and the others are kind of wobbly, and then I have to take them out of my mouth and just sort of be like, oh shit, there's a couple more teeth come out. A bit like, you know, basically like when you're a kid and a tooth falls out and maybe you've got a wobbly one and you play with it and then it comes out. Except big adult teeth. Hey! I did the music thing! Thank you! Oh, that is a tip. Oh, that's for through the... Did you use the Stream Elements thing? Ah, sweet. Because I think no one has used the Stream Elements thing. Hang on, this... The tip thing. You're like, yeah, you're the first person to use the tip thing. So that's like, I think if you type in tip, Yeah, that thing. Yeah, yeah. So it's like YouTube has their super chat thing, but it goes through YouTube systems, and actually YouTube does take kind of a bit of a cut. Whereas I think with this tip thing, it's set up in Stream Elements, but it goes through PayPal, and as far as I know, Stream Elements doesn't take a fee for it. So it kind of just comes straight to me, and the only fee I pay on it is through PayPal. So that's actually like the best one to use. That's really cool. That's the first one, and I think because like you're the only one to use it, it's going to stay there until, like, you know, unless someone else does it, but that means your name is going to stay up there while you're on top, basically. Because I don't know if many people know that the tip thing is a thing. That's cool, we got to test that. I think that's like the main thing we hadn't tested yet. A while back, we did do the merch stuff, and we did get the merch things. Oh, and I can see in the tip, I've got like a thing on the screens come up and it says, "What is this?" as the message. Yeah. No, cool. Thank you for testing that for me, and thank you for the tip. I think the only one I haven't used now is the membership one, because I haven't actually set it up, but it's part of the, you know, the template. I did make the glow more intense. That's the main modification that I did, but I can see around here there's maybe a little thing that I could have refined that's a bit dodgy, but yeah, no, like at some point I still think about doing the YouTube memberships thing. It's just I can barely even get myself organized day to day. Since when did you have the option activated? I guess when I got Stream Elements, they're like, hey, put in your, you know, whatever your PayPal address is here, and you can set up this tip thing. So like it's been around a while. Like, I can't remember when I started using this Stream Elements OBS setup, but it's ages, and you're the first one to get really curious and go, what's this? So I think you were also the first to do the super thanks. So this is super chat. Super chat is the bottom one, and super thanks is the one that goes on videos that aren't live streams. You were the first for that, and you're also the first for the tipping ever, which is exciting. And we actually got to see that pop up. That's what confused me for a moment though, because I'm so used to super chat that I was like, wait, why is it saying tip? Yeah, no, I've had it for a while. So the only thing that I haven't activated pretty much is the membership thing, and it's just like, I don't know. There's also like YouTube, you can connect in a store, but I would have to connect, like my merch is on, speaking of merch, my merch is on the Stream Elements thing, but to connect it, like, you know, at the bottom of the videos there's like a shelf that shows products that YouTubers have. I would have to get a different shop and set that up, and I just haven't got around to it. Kind of can't be bothered at the moment, but the other company does let you put my t-shirt on like a teddy bear or something, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want a teddy bear with my shirt on it, so maybe I should get onto that, and then I can have that. Is that a bit childish of me? Sure. But then I can go around being like, hey, and if it's someone's birthday or something, here, have a teddy with my shirt on it. Because I know, like, some of these people, they wouldn't wear my shirt, but they wouldn't say no to a teddy. I don't know. That's me plotting and scheming. But yeah, no, with the memberships, I don't know, it's just like having to set up the emojis and the badges. I mean, I know I could probably go on Fiverr and pay someone to do it for me, but I don't even have like a concept of what I would want it to look like. Yeah, I don't know. When I have choice makes things harder for me. It's better if I have less choice and then I just get on with the job. So that's one of the things that makes YouTube memberships hard for me personally to set up. Like, I don't want to use that default one. I want to make something that's unique to my channel. But then what would it be? And here's a bunch of ideas and how would I implement it? And then I get overwhelmed and just don't do it. But yeah, no, like lately, I don't know, the past few months have been so crazy. Like last year was really difficult So I didn't get a huge amount done. I probably got more done than I realized because, I'm bad at remembering what I've been up to, but I just know overall last year was really low energy and I was really struggling. And then just as I started to do better is when, we had to say goodbye to hope. And so then I was a wreck for another, I don't know, ages. If I bring it up in like psychology or someone asks me about it, I'll get upset again. But yeah, and then sort of getting through that, a month later it's Christmas, and then I've got Christmas things to go to, hanging out with people. Like one of my friends, I think she only had time off in a certain window, so we had to socialize between Christmas and New Year. And then the most recent thing that I went to was like my cousin's engagement party, and so that kind of like extended it, this whole festive season, for an extra week. Because, then I'm thinking about, oh shit, what am I going to wear? How do I deal with this lipstick problem? And that's when I did the red over red, red lip stain, red lipstick over the top, and it worked pretty well. It wasn't perfect, but it got me through the day. But yeah, just like, sort of keeping myself switched on, ready to socialize, and then very next day I'm just like, I have no energy now. I made it, and that's it, and I'm not committing to anything. I do have a friend who wanted me to turn up to something on Friday night. I guess I still have time to decide if I have the energy, but the past few days have just been, and I might be doing things during the day on Friday anyway. Yeah, it's just, recovering from the whole festive season and having to be socially switched on, and Christmas was a little bit tricky because I think I spent so much time thinking about my outfit that I just like got there and my mind was blank and I didn't have the best conversations. So a lot of the time I was kind of just staring at stuff and I was so tired. And yeah, like I even forgot to show the family my aunt, because there's this whole mythology about ant farming in the Grey family. Yeah, really zoned out. But at my cousin's engagement, I actually did have better conversations. I'm not sure why that was. Maybe it's just the way the place was set up, is like you kind of have to have conversations, whereas maybe at Christmas, people were playing cricket and we were all sitting at tables, but the tables were kind of disjointed. I don't know. I guess like at the engagement also, we didn't have like the older family members. It was mostly like my generation. I wonder if that made a difference. Yeah, anyway, so like I think I did well, but oh boy, that's a lot of socializing and it really takes it out of you. And yeah, I kind of just have collapsed for a bit. I tried to write out, where are my sticky notes? I tried to write out a schedule. Like, it turns out I actually had this schedule already set up and I've just altered it. At some point, apparently I was waking up at 8 a.m. And I'm like, really? When did I come up with this? And trying to go to bed at 10 p.m.? Are you fucking crazy? But so I've changed it now, like, 9 o'clock or 9:30, wake up and water my plants, because it's summer. I should. I haven't been waking up at that time. Today I got up at 10 though, because after I had that dream about my teeth falling out, I was just like, I'm not staying in bed. I don't need to fucking go through that. So I got up at 10 and watered my plants. Close enough. Breakfast. In Japan. I don't know that anyone in the modern world marries cousins. Like, that would be a very weird religious sect thing to do. These aren't my Japanese cousins, though. Like, so one of my Aussie cousins is getting engaged to a guy, and, like, there's this whole love story involved, which I don't know, we had to ask someone, like, what's this love story? Like, what they mentioned it in the speeches. But yeah, they actually live in America at the moment, but they were able to come over to Australia during the holiday period, but then they've like straight back over because apparently America doesn't really do leave the way that we do in Australia. I don't know, maybe that's why Americans are so like, Whereas we're very chill and we're having lots of holidays and like, she'll be right, mate. But yeah. So, and then in Japan, I don't know that any of my cousins are involved with anyone. Japanese society is kind of like that these days because, I don't know, Japanese men are not exactly... I mean, there's a reason my mum married a gaijin and moved to Australia. Also, Japanese society just didn't suit her. But I think the oldest... Like, I've only got 3 cousins in Japan. Whereas I have a lot of cousins in Australia. It's just, like, different families. But yeah, I think the oldest of my Japanese cousins was involved with someone, but he died. And there's a whole dramatic fucking thing around that. I don't know if she's with anyone since then. I've got no way to find out because, like, she's the one that, like, doesn't speak any English. The other 2 do speak English, and quite well, actually. But the oldest, she doesn't give a fuck. And yeah, I don't have contact with her, and I mostly just find out things through mum. She doesn't visit Australia, whereas the other ones have visited in recent years. Yeah, so, and as far as I know, they're not involved with anyone. But yeah, no, Japan has a real population issue. Like, a lot of Asian countries do. A lot worse than we've got in Western societies. But yeah, Japan is really having issues with that because, you know, a lot of the women just aren't interested in the men, and then generally people are more focused on their careers, and Japanese culture is, I don't know, I think because it's so restricted, there's a lot of expectations, and people just don't really get out there. I've been bitten by something and then I scratched it too much, and that's what that pink mark was. What was in the box? I mean, there was this, and you missed me. Well, I didn't actually try. I did a terrible pronunciation, and then I just got Google to pronounce it for me. And then in the box, so we've got some fucking hardcore welding goggles, like legit welding goggles. It's green when you look through these, and then there's like extra lenses that are even stronger, and so one of them, I think I put it, like, I've got this huge light here, the softbox light, and I couldn't even see the light through it, so I had to go here to the LED one, and it has like a few different LEDs, and I could just see the spots where the LEDs were, and it's just like, yeah. And then we've got little code things here, which is done like in, so this is the Scribe Chronicler stuff, like in that sort of detail. So there's that, and then, come here. Oh, check this out. Fucking A. Look at that. And so they're like, I'm not going to try and pull them apart again, but like maybe just the top bit. I think that was easy. And so then they've got like lenses in there, and so like different, like, they cover up the lenses so that you don't accidentally burn things when you're out in the sun until you're ready to burn things. And like, you know, this is all his, I don't know, did you ever see his channel? This is like hand burned, basically. Like, he's working with lasers now, but and I can actually smell the burning still. Like, that reminds me of bushfires and campfires, and yeah, been a while since I've been out and about doing the campfire thing. And then, you know, on the back we'll have like different patterns. Yeah, so like, you've seen how he, like, before he deleted all the stuff, how he was burning these things, and the technique, like, to draw it, and then that helps absorb more of the heat, and then it's burning. It's very appropriate, and like, there's all this create and destroy kinds of stuff, so it's like very destructionist. Now you have an excuse to sit in the sun and burn things. I see what this is doing. This is trying to trick me into going outdoors. No, I'm too scared. Not so much of the burning, but just like you saw the detail on the goggles, right? And then me as like a complete noob trying to replicate that. Fucking good luck. Don't burn the ants. No, I caught another ant. And so I put it in my toy ant farm, and then I'll show you. Let me quickly get you this, because like it's super dodgy. I don't even know where it is. I think it might be hiding back in the tube. But yeah, I got a bit of a toilet roll and just stuck it on there so that it's got like somewhere dark to hide. I can't see where it is at the moment, but I think I'm gonna have to paint this black because it still doesn't absorb enough of the light, and I can kind of see too much getting through. Oh, is that you? Oh, there you are, I can see you. Sort of just in, can you see it? Oh yeah, you can just see it. Just there. There's like a little black dot. I don't know if you can see it moving at all. There! It fit over perfectly. And so I just like, yeah, make it black. And then hopefully, I don't know if it's fertilized. So it might still not, like even with me trying to improve its conditions and not stress it out so much, it still might not lay eggs and raise an army. But I can try. Also, another thing I did is on here, I put a bit of cotton wool so that I can drip some water in there and it can come up and grab the water. It's not as good as actually having a test tube set up with water that's just always there, but you know, if I put a few drops in there, I'm hoping that gives it a reasonable water source instead of, like, I did put water back in the sand, but I don't know. I was hoping to give it something where it's dark, but it's kind of just staring out from, shit, the thing's in the way. Oh, I can certainly just see the dot in there. It's sort of just staring out from that spot. And see a little bit of a dot in there. Anyway, let me put that back because I don't want to piss it off too much. But yeah, with the other ant, you know, like, again, both of these ants have not taken off their wings, so I know not all ants will do that, but generally, if they've pulled off their wings, they probably have been fertilized, whereas I don't know about this one. It was trying to crawl in this, we've got this, like, little gadget. It was trying to crawl in the SD card slot, and so I was just like, nah, you're coming with me. Got it out of there, chucked it in the ant farm. Took me, like, until today. I think I caught it a couple days ago, and it's only just, or maybe it was yesterday. Time passes and I can't keep track, because everything's really slow, so I feel like more time has passed than it actually has. So I don't know what day that was. But yeah, it's only today that I, like, chopped up that toilet roll. So I don't know if it was too stressed already, and then it's not dark enough, and then because a little bit of a slit has to be open, does it have anywhere that is dark enough? I'm hoping the little compartments will be dark, but I don't fucking know. I'm just hoping, you know, like, if it is fertilized, those queen ants, they don't, like, you know, if they're stressed out, if they have too much light and they're stressed out, maybe they'll lay eggs, but then they tend to eat them. So I think, like, maybe that first one did lay an egg, but ate it out of stress. Yeah. And it might not have been a fertilized egg anyway, but that's the thing. That's the thing that I've been doing. Anyway, yeah, no, I was going on about my fucking schedule, which hasn't been working out. This week has not gone to plan. Like, there was one day that I slept in until, like, midday. You know, staying up late, but then I couldn't get to sleep. I kept waking up. But yeah, today I was up at 10, had breakfast, stuffed around for a bit, but then I did do my singing warm-ups all the way through. Like, I went through my, like, I have, like, a routine, and I got all the way through that, but I didn't do any of my solo project practice. I didn't do any of my band practice, and I think I also had lunch quite late. I did play around with the lipstick thing. I've taken it off though, because I did play. I still haven't finished editing that video about that company I don't like. But you know, I tried this thing that I know burns my lips a little bit just to touch it up a bit, and I thought maybe if it's just on top of it, it won't burn my lips. But like after a while, it was starting to feel a bit ugh. So yeah, I took it all off. But I spent way too long today looking up lip products and then asking the goth group, have you had any experience with this next thing? Oh my god. And like lipstick is, I think my lips are just not the type of lip that can hold it really well, and so that's why I have to go for the ombre to like, you know, do a gradient to my normal lip color or to a lip stain color. Even doing the lip care stuff hasn't really made any improvements, so yeah, like it's not a really intense burn, it's just this light sting, and after a while I just start thinking this feels uncomfortable, I should probably take it off. So it's not full on, but it's enough that I'm like, I really shouldn't be putting that on my face. So like with the makeup that I've rejected, and that's the main one that I've rejected, because if it's giving me that reaction, probably shouldn't use it. What I'll do is I'll use it for weird art projects, and then, because like it has pigment in it, right? And then to make it stay, maybe I just like spray it with some kind of like varnish, or I don't know, I'll figure it out. I don't even need to use it yet, but I don't know, like with, so this is the thing, like I keep telling myself I'm going to do this stuff, and talking about the YouTube memberships thing that I haven't set up. Like I haven't been in the studio doing any actual art or music so far this year. So if I can't even do that, of course I'm not fucking going to get moving on the memberships. That room does smell good now, and every now and then I wake up in the morning and someone's left the door open and I can smell that diffuser wafting up the corridor, and then I'll just like close that door to try and keep that smell in the room, because I want to make sure it's like nice and intense in there and they're not wasting too much of it. But yeah, I need to get in there. Maybe I could do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be raining, so I probably won't want to, I guess it depends how much it rains and what time, but I probably won't want to do my bonsai. I've got so much stuff though that needs to be done. Yesterday my plans got a little bit derailed because my boss called. Did I mention this? I can't even remember who I've told it to. I don't think I've told YouTube this yet, but my boss called. Where did I talk about it? It must have just been in my real life. So like I can't even remember what I've been doing with myself. Bloody hell. What videos have I done lately? The dissociation rant, that was a little while ago. I've done shorts for the past couple of days. That's meh. And then what, live streams, just makeup and stuff lately. Okay, yeah, no, my boss called yesterday. Like I had had my breakfast, and I think I'd finished my tea, and I was just like finishing reading something on my phone. And then, oh no, mum gave me her phone to try and fix an issue. And while I was playing with her phone, my phone went off, and it was my boss, my bonsai boss. And, you know, I haven't worked there for a year, but he was asking me, like, you know, do I want to come back and do some, like, a half day, or, you know, he especially wants me to come back and do some teaching at their workshops. So I guess there's not too many people that have that skill set in this area, you know, doing the assisting and knowing how they work and all that. And, you know, I'm not sure that I'm ready to go back because I'm so variable day to day. And, like, one of the reasons I stopped working is, like, the day before work, I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing well, I'll come in tomorrow. And then I'd wake up the next day and just be, like, fucked and have to say I can't come in. And, you know, I hate that feeling of being unreliable. So at the moment, I'm just not stable. Like, especially I'm trying to rebuild my life after a really terrible year, not having hope anymore. I'm definitely not getting enough exercise. That's the hardest thing, like not having a fluff ball saying, come on, let's go for a walk. There's been a lot of days where I just haven't left the house at all. So I've got to, maybe tomorrow, do I have anywhere I need to go tomorrow? Probably not. And if it's raining, do I want to go out? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm a fucking mess. But he does want me to come back. But the thing is, And, we talked a bit about some of my plants, and I've got so many plants. At their exhibition last year, I did talk to my sensei. So my sensei is my boss's mum, and she mentioned, like, I can bring the cuttings in, trade it in for some soil, and I will need some soil when I start repotting everything. So, I have too many plants. So I mentioned that, and, he doesn't need me to put them in fresh pots. I could just bring them all up. So I'll consider that at some point. And I think that's easier. That's an easy way for me to contribute, is to just make heaps of cuttings and then bring them in. But anyway, so we talk about all that. He also asked me about, like, some experiments that I did the year before, I think, with some Chinese elms. And then we started talking as if we were working together. So, like, when I'd be on shift with him, like, it's kind of just us two. It's pretty chill. Every now and then you get a customer in, but most of the time we're just working on trees. Yeah, and, like, sometimes repetitive stuff, sometimes more detailed stuff. And he, like, towards the end, he was getting me to do less repotting, because physically, I mean, look at this fucking skinny arm. And I've lost weight too. Fucking... Anyway, yeah, but the detailed work, unfortunately, with my eyesight, like, I need to have my glasses on to, if I'm doing it there, like, things don't get clear until about there. But then it's like, whoa, I put my glasses on and it's too much. And it's just like, and these are my weaker glasses too. So I get a headache doing a lot of the detail work for too long. But anyway, no, when we work together, like, we kind of just shit talk a whole bunch of stuff. Yes, spindly noodly arms. That's me. Yeah, make a gif of me doing that. Someone did make a gif of one of my older videos where I was doing, like, arm flailing. I still have it saved somewhere. Anyway, yeah, we shit talk a lot of stuff. But so I think he does watch a lot of YouTube, but it's sort of like borderline conspiracy theory stuff. Is that telling me to go to bed? It is. I'm so bad at this. But yeah, it's borderline conspiracy theory stuff. Not fully conspiracy theory, but it's like, with AI. And, like, current AI, to me, is not AI. To me, it's a pattern machine. What I think AI is what the rest of the world calls general AI. Phone says it's bedtime. I'm in the middle of a story, damn it! I'm going to finish my rambling, and then I'll go on another tangent. Fucking phone can't tell me what to do. Even though I'm the one who set it up. But yeah, nah. So, like, with the AI stuff, I think he was... Like, he'd gotten onto something where thinking that general AI is coming sooner than... that general AI is coming sooner than, than I think, certainly. And how that's going to have an impact on society and all that. And I was kind of pointing out, like, it's not actually that far along. And then the people who are fear-mongering about all this stuff, they make money. YouTubers make money from saying stuff, and your arms are weapons to kill pain or attention. Those arms will destroy America one day, according to legend. Oh my god. Someone did make a video, what is that? There's like an anime where one of the characters has the same name as me, and like they have these invisible arm things that are like representing, I guess, their psychic power or something. Those are my like wiggly arm things going out to destroy everything. I still have that video. I think it's still on YouTube. I favorited it. Yeah, it's probably that. Probably that. That's what this is. I think she gets exploded at the end, though. I don't know, like, I read about it one day. I didn't have the patience to actually watch it, because, like, some of the imagery, I was just like, yeah, nah. And I don't like that idea of the arms as a representation kind of thing. I think that's kind of lame, but whatever. I can have a look in my favorites. It'll be at the bottom of my favorites, but it gets a little bit chaotic. Oh, fuck, I can't be bothered. I don't know. It's out there somewhere. I don't know. It was one of those fan videos. Where was I? AI type stuff. Yeah, no, you know, those YouTubers who are like, oh, this thing is going to ruin society and ruin the world. You know, they're making money off making people freak out. So I'm kind of like, shot by a hyper. No, I think she had like an explosive inside her or something, because she was like really strong and it was maybe some kind of like kill switch. But yeah, I'll find it for you. I won't watch it live because I don't need copyright strikes. Where are my favorites? Haven't added anything to it for a while. There's some good shit in here though. Does fighting in heels actually work? That's an amazing video. No, this is not a public playlist, by the way. There it is. How do I copy that? Share. Copy. I think this will be it. Let me chuck it in the thing. I can have a look at that. Yeah, no, so talking to my boss, like this is like, I think for a while he was into looking up decentralized crypto organization things or something like that while we were working together. So this is quite a while ago. So like, you know, he'll get interested in that kind of stuff and I'll be like, yeah, I don't know about that kind of thing. But so yeah, he called me yesterday and we actually ended up talking for like 2 hours. Just going from thing to thing. Like we also talked about EVs. EVs are just not really appropriate for Australia, and I think Japan's having problems with EVs as well. Like Mum went to Japan late last year and asked where had all the EVs gone, because they were popular for a bit, but apparently in Japan a lot of people would try and drive up the mountains, because Japan has a lot of mountains, and the EVs just couldn't actually handle that kind of mountain whatever. So people having to be rescued, and like once something like that happens in Japan, you know, it's a very conformist society. So once they get worried about that kind of stuff, that's kind of it. So yeah, Japan's more, I think, going the hybrid route, and also Toyota. I think they might have an EV now, but they were very reluctant, and they don't really support the EV thing. They're more about hybrids and hydrogen. I don't really have a strong opinion about hydrogen at this point. EVs, don't they all explode? Yeah, that wasn't the problem though. Then like with Australia, it's not so much the mountain problem, although we do have some mountains. It's more just like Australia's landmass is huge, and to go from one city to another, or like to go from one state to another, it's a really long distance. And we just don't have the infrastructure to have charging stations all through the outback, you know. So you've got to really, if some people who want to drive an EV from Sydney to Melbourne, they've got to like plan that shit. You got to know where you're going to stop, where you're going to charge, how long you need to charge for, because it's not just like plugging in the petrol. And it just doesn't make sense. Like if you were a little old granny and you only ever did trips to the shops, fine, because you don't need that range. And you can just charge it at home overnight, assuming you don't live in an apartment. Battery exchange stations in Asia. For scooters, yeah. You're not going to be riding around the outback in a scooter. Yeah, no, in Australia, like, the distances are just too huge. And I'm not sure that the rest of the world really understands how big the distances are in Australia. Because, like, a lot of the developed world is very densely populated. We're not like that. Like, the cities are getting more dense, but they're really long distances in between. And, you know, let's say my band, or maybe even my solo project, if I get any Australia's Texas big. Yeah. No, I have a Texas joke. I don't remember it very well. I only remember the punchline, but it's like an Aussie is hanging out with someone from Texas. And I think the Texan has come to Australia maybe, and the Aussie's pointing out, oh, look, I just found a bunch of my hair, excuse me. The Aussie's pointing out different things Like, I think we've got a lot of big objects in Australia. I don't know if this is the joke, and I'm over-explaining it, which makes it less funny, but, like, you know, we've got the big banana, and we've got the big ram, and we've got the big pineapple and whatever. And so I think he's showing the Texan all these landmarks, and the Texan's like, oh, we've got one of those in Texas, but it's bigger than that. You know, all these kinds of things. I've actually been to the big ram or big merino. It's like this huge sheep thing. It was a very long time ago, so I don't exactly remember. We've got a lot of those novelty things. And yeah, so the Texan is just like, we've got that, but it's bigger and better in Texas, blah, blah, blah. Then a kangaroo comes by, and the Texan's like, oh, what the fuck is that? And the Aussie says, that's a grasshopper, mate. And that's kind of, anyway. It's probably funnier if you actually know how to tell the joke, which I don't. But yeah, no, Australia is like roughly the size of America. Okay, at least I got an LOL. Australia, I think, is like, the landmass is roughly the same size as America, but we've got like 10% of the population and spread out mostly along the east coast, and then like a few bits here and there, and it gets pretty sparse in the middle. So there's just these huge distances, and you know, America has 50 states. We've got, I think, was it 7 states and territories, or maybe it's 8 states and territories, and then it depends whether you include the islands as well. But you know, we've got fucking Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, the Northern Territory, Western Australia, and the Australian Capital Territory, which is inside New South Wales. And then, yeah, islands and shit. So, like, that's all we've got. We don't have... Australia's, like, U-shaped, populated, all coast, no interior. Yeah, I mean, we do have Darwin up north, and there is, like, Alice Springs sort of in the middle, but they're not huge or anything. Definitely the biggest cities are all East Coast. Anyway, yeah, just the distances. So we've only got that many states, and each state kind of just has, like, one really big city. I mean, Sydney, you know, we've got Newcastle and Wollongong, but they're kind of like, so Sydney, Newcastle, Wollongong, and they're so close that you could almost call them like Greater Sydney. And when the pandemic was going on, if Sydney locked down, they would lock down too, because, yeah, you have to drive a pretty damn long distance, but it's kind of all in the same sphere. And, you know, up to the Blue Mountains as well. That's a bit of a distance. Not as big of a distance, but it's all Sydney-ish. And that's where most of New South Wales population is. There's a lot of towns out west, but like very, very long distances in between. Lots of farms. I thought the north of Australia was just crocodiles and camels. Have you seen that clip of fucking Katter? And this is during the gay marriage debate. And he's clearly very awkward talking about gay marriage. And he's just... You've got to find this clip. I don't know what you would call it, but, like, it's probably Bob Katter, crocodiles, and, if I try and do an impression of him, he's, like, saying something, you know, let 1,000 blossoms bloom for all I care. And then his face just changes and gets really dark, and he's like, but I ain't spending any more time on it, because every day or every week or whatever it is, someone gets eaten by a crocodile. And I'm just like... We went from gay marriage into crocodiles. It's just like... He's so... That is like... You know, a walking meme, that guy. We have a few politicians like that. But unlike America, where they can actually become a Trump and run the place, our entertaining politicians are just like entertainment. They don't do very much. Occasionally they can slow something down from being passed, but they don't really have that much power. It's more like, you know, you can be more entertained by them because you don't need to take him seriously. We also had like discount wannabe Trump, and he kept falling asleep when he was in Parliament. It's just like fucking we got some fun shit like that. Anyway, where was I going with all this? I don't even remember. No, Australia, okay, the big distances. EVs just don't make practical sense for all the driving around. He's pretty worried about those crocodiles. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta find this clip, because he goes from, like, super awkward to, like, oh, man. But yeah, no, the distances between Australian towns and, like, if you wanted to do a road trip, or even if, like, a lot of people do commute, so they'll come from, like, the borders of Sydney to work in Sydney. Some people come down from the Central Coast, which I think is maybe halfway to Newcastle. They will come in, drive in. Some people even drive in from Wollongong. That's a fucking long distance to be doing all the time. And then if you have to drive interstate, an EV is just going to be such a pain in the butt, and people have tried it, but then, you know, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't have a proper charger, so you've got to roll out your regular cable, and it takes so long to charge, whereas if you had a petrol station, you just fill it up, you're done, you're off. And so I think for Australia, hybrids are the more sensible option. He's like... Yeah, I mean, I think he was trying to deflect from the debate. It's just the way that he went about it was fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, hybrids. And so Mum's got a plug-in hybrid. So you've got the best of both worlds. Because, like, for short trips, electric is better. And in the city where you're doing a lot of braking, and it's very quiet. Although, like, her car is, like, quiet all over. Like, it's pretty full on. But then when she goes on a longer trip, and she has done some longer trips, or if she hasn't had a chance to charge for whatever reason, just switch over into hybrid mode, the petrol thing kicks in. But because it's hybrid and it has its own little hybrid battery, and the hybrid battery, I think, can charge the electric battery, I don't know, it's complicated. But basically she's not using as much petrol as if it was a petrol car, so that's good for the economical thing. And then... yeah, it's like the best of both worlds. It makes sense to me. Like, there's all this push to go electric, but when you take into account all the issues with electric, having both, you know, why not both? Because there are advantages and disadvantages of each. Why not both? Combine them, and then you can use which function you need when it's most appropriate. Is that not the most sensible thing? Having a compromise, the center ground? Like, why does it have to be all the way electric? Anyway, bit of a rant there. But, like, you know, I talked about that with my boss. I think, you know, took some shots at fucking Elon Musk as well. I don't remember exactly what that was about. But, you know, we had a good talk. And then with some of the things where he's a bit more paranoid about stuff, fuel is evil. I mean... like... seem very religious. Yeah, well, you know, renewables is kind of a marketing term, and green energy is kind of a marketing term, because it turns out all the resources you need for your wind farms and your solar farms, it actually takes a lot of resources, and people don't, like, that's not really talked about. It's just like, oh, you're getting energy from the sun or the wind, how clean is that? But no, how do you actually convert that into energy? That's where the problem is. And, you know, you can construct all this stuff, but then you have these huge fields of solar panels, you get a hailstorm come through, they're all fucking damaged, they all need to be replaced. That's, like, not great. And then with the wind farms, you know, there was that thing where, like, those guys were on top of it, and it was burning, and they couldn't get down, and it's just, like... scary. Anyway, no, like, more people have died from solar and wind than have ever died from nuclear energy. But so, like, you know, I'm on the nuclear boat, and I know people say, oh, it costs so much, but a lot of the cost comes from the excessive amount of regulation, which, yeah, you need safeguards that you don't do the whole Chernobyl thing, but the Chernobyl thing was the Russians fucking around and finding out. So... yeah, but no, so with the fuel, why I bring up nuclear stuff, you know, like, you're never going to fly a plane on a battery. So how are you going to manage that? Okay, maybe you can try the hydrogen thing, but do you really want your plane with that? And, like, hydrogen, it's really hard to contain the gas. Same argument for planes. Way less planes new compared to solar and wind and cars. Hang on, what? in terms of deaths and stuff. There's like, you know, I think on a percentage with the planes, like in a percentage of crashes, like your odds are better in a plane. Deadly because you have more interactions. I think that's the nature of, like, you know, you need that many solar panels to even get close to matching one nuclear plant. Then there's just they're not efficient. And also, like, even if you average out things, the deaths from nuclear technology, like the death rate is not the same as from solar and wind. In Australia, we have a lot of rooftop solar, and people like fall off roofs and get injured and die a lot, but it's not really talked about. And then all the toxic chemicals that go into making those solar panels. Thousands of one for... Yeah. And also when you look at, like, energy output relative to deaths, like, nuclear comes way out on top there. Nuclear is just so much better. You get so much more energy killing less people. And all the birds, yeah, oh my god, there was, like, you know, those towers where they have all the mirrors and they try and reflect all the sun up there to this one mirror thing, and it, like, no, all the mirrors to this one thing, and then it boils water and creates steam or whatever. And, like, I saw recently they were thinking about doing that in Australia, and I'm like, it's already failed overseas. And they just kept cooking birds and, you know, cooking some endangered birds too. And it wasn't even viable in the end or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked into it. But I'm just like, I don't have any problem with nuclear. It would be great to have 2 more arms so I could do more things. See the birds catch fire mid-flight. Oh, I don't know. I just, you know, you could simplify things with nuclear. And nuclear is nowhere near as dangerous as, you know, people think. Obviously, Chernobyl was a big deal, but the Russians fucked that up, or the Soviet Union fucked that up. You know, they were actually fucking around with the settings, which you don't do. And I know, like, you know, some of the other issues with nuclear stuff, was it 3 Mile Island? They were fucking around with things there as well, you know, trimming off too much of the cooling stuff, but it didn't actually get to a really bad stage. Don't even need to do that. Wait, do what? With Fukushima, no one died from the radiation. They all died from the earthquake and tsunami. Nuclear batteries. Yeah, oh, like, are we talking about nuclear waste? Because, like, that's really well contained, and you can walk right up to these things that they're contained in. No moving parts, no maintenance. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the design of the nuclear reactor and all that, and there are some much better designs now compared to the 80s when the Russians were fucking around. But yeah, with Fukushima, the main issue there was a design flaw in their seawall and, like, you know, the generators to do cooling. It did, like, you know, it did fuck things up, but it didn't kill anyone, and the people who died in the evacuation died of stress, and they were evacuated. Like, you know, some people stayed in the radiation zones and just refused to leave. But the people who left, you know, you just make a nuclear battery and it'll power your whole neighborhood. And just stack it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do with nuclear, and it's a much better technology than it used to be, and people are very safety obsessed because of, like, those big incidents where people didn't know what was going on, so there's all this fear, whatever. But yeah, no, like, all the fear is really hyped up, but no one died from Fukushima. Like, the official count is no one died. And then not as many people can be shown to have died from Chernobyl even, and no one died with the 3 Mile Island. It takes millions of years for nuclear waste to degrade. The most damaging nuclear waste, or, like, nuclear products, decay very quickly. The reason they're dangerous is because they let out all their radiation at once, and then they're gone. So you can wait a short amount of time and the worst of the radiation is gone, and then you just have low level waste. But these days you can recycle that waste because it's not actually waste, it's just like the products that those older nuclear reactors couldn't use. Today's nuclear reactors, you can actually use that stuff. So it's not really waste, it's nuclear recycling material. movies have only been responsible for creating terrible imagery. Yeah, nuclear has a PR problem, and, you know, a lot of the fear groups have really gotten on top of it, and that's no different from the radioactive materials in the ground right now. Yeah, well, actually, there's places in the ground where there's, like, natural nuclear reactions going on. And that's in the ground, and it's not hurting anyone. And all this, like, you know, all the uranium that's been dug out of the ground, it was in the ground, and it was already, like, you know, some of that stuff was already radioactive as it was, and it was in the ground, and it was fine. So you can put this stuff back where you got it, or recycle it, which is probably the better use for it. You know, there's different kinds of reactors. So, like, the argument, oh, you know, nuclear waste takes millions of years to degrade, that's one of those anti-nuclear propaganda things, is not really taking into account what you can use that for. And then, you know, it is also, like, if you've ever seen those containers that they have them in, those are solid as heck. It's just like, we don't make nuclear fuel, we dig it up and refine it, and doesn't make it more radioactive. Huh? Yeah, no, it like, you know, obviously there's that refinement stuff going on, but, it's my merch. That's so distracting. You know, like, in terms of burying it, like, obviously you've got to choose the right place. But if you, like, you know, for example, there's that natural radioactive, like, natural nuclear reactor where it's just like, you know, there's uranium in the ground, there's a certain amount of water, and those things are reacting in very much the same way that they do in a nuclear reactor, just it's not being used for anything, it's just in the ground. I forget where it is, but there is one of those things going on. You could put the waste there because it's already radioactive and it's just a natural process. And I think radiation isn't as harmful as we used to think. Like, obviously, you know, if you get that initial burst of radiation, and this is where the dangerous nuclear waste is, like those initial products, if you get hit with that, obviously that's bad for you. But the lower level, like, I mean, there's background radiation as there is just and if you fly on a plane, you get more radioactive shit from the space because you're further up in the atmosphere, so it's not being filtered out by the atmosphere. So yeah, if you go on a plane, you're getting a higher dose of radiation compared to the ground, and you can actually go outside, you know, certain areas of Chernobyl and Fukushima that had radioactive issues. You're actually getting more on the plane, more radiation exposure on the plane going to those places than you do when you're in those, like, outside zones. Good morning from Snow Country. 60 centimeters. That's a fucking lot of snow. Especially, like, for me as an Aussie. Like, I was, like, talking about this. That's what a wintry Christmas looks like. We don't have that. We don't even have winters like that here in Australia. Or, like, unless you're in the snowy mountains. And even in the snowy mountains, like, our snow is pretty pathetic. 2 feet. 2 feet. Yeah, no, the 60 centimeters was better for me there. Anyway, no, like, so never mind your opinions of nuclear power. Like, one of the things that you can do with nuclear power, freezing, -5, fucking, I've got my aircon on. Well, I've got the dehumidifier on. So, like, you know, a cold winter here would be if it stays below 19 degrees as your maximum temperature, and then overnight, if it gets down to single digits in Sydney, that's cold. But yeah, below freezing, fuck off. That's too cold. We had that in Japan, but, you know, I wasn't out and about. I wasn't home and warm by then. Bloody hell. Yeah, no, anyway, the thing you can do with nuclear power, because you can, you know, you don't need the insane amount of land mass that solar and wind take up, and it's not intermittent in the same way. So if you built enough little reactors, you know, you power your city, but then if you got to a certain point where you had enough left over, -15, oh. Anyway, if you had all this leftover nuclear power, right? Because at some point you're going to get a lot. I think that's where you can start using that power to do the carbon capture thing. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy about carbon capture as well. Having my breakfast. They'll be shoveling. Oh my god. Isn't it that song, Every Day I'm Shoveling? Oh no, it's Shuffling. My brain changed it to shoveling. Anyway. Yeah, no, carbon capture, I mean, I know it's controversial at the moment and they haven't quite figured it out, but let's say you have all this excess energy that you could put into carbon capture. Then what you can do with that is you can create synthetic fuels. So instead of digging fossil fuels out of the ground, you make them out of carbon from the air, so then you basically have carbon neutral fuel. Then you can use, maybe not your petrol cars, I think hybrid cars are still the better option than full petrol. So that you get more efficient use of that resource. But then you can make jet fuel because you're not going to fly a plane on a battery. It's just not going to happen. The battery's too fucking heavy. It's just... And there were experiments, I think, in putting a nuclear reactor on a plane, but I think we probably don't want that because even if they could make it as safe as possible, in a bad crash, if it landed in an area where people are just not thinking... Like, this is what's happened with nuclear medicine. I think it was maybe South America or someplace like that. There was like an abandoned hospital and it had one of those, I don't know, some kind of nuclear medicine thing, or like one of the scanning machines had a radioactive component and the hospital had been abandoned. Everyone forgot about that. But then these guys come in, like trying to strip copper and trying to find anything they can sell. And they come across this machine and strip it apart. And then they find that radioactive, was it Brazil? They find this radioactive thing and then they're like, oh, it's glowing and it's, yeah, look, this is cool. And they start using it as makeup and they start, giving it to their kids to play with. And, so can you imagine, like, I mean, we've got radioactive submarines and that's really well contained and like they know what they're doing. It can, the fucking thing can sink and it'll be fine. It's not going to explode or whatever. But you've got all the water around as well, which helps to cool it down. But if your plane goes down, if for some reason the containment vessel cracks, because, planes can go down with force, maybe someone, basic nuclear education, but like that's the thing. If the plane goes down in an area where people don't know not to fuck around with this stuff, you can get that kind of thing. So you could potentially fly a plane on a nuclear reactor, but you probably shouldn't, because as much as I do support nuclear energy for like baseload, and I support it for submarines and I support it for shipping, I'm just not sure that planes is where we want them. And similarly, nuclear-powered rockets, the problem is that we still get rockets exploding as they go up. I think once we have like a moon base or a space, like, orbiting base or something, then you can manufacture things up there or like, at least transport the reactor there, but not have it activated until you're like put together finally. Then use that base to send nuclear rockets further away from Earth. You could do it there, but we're not at that stage yet, so let's not put nuclear reactors on rockets, to do our basic as fuck space exploration. I think it's more, instead of going from Earth to space, I think nuclear rockets are better from space to space. So, flying things, I don't think that we're technologically at that point where we should have nuclear reactors on flying things. In the meantime, I believe in the science, but not the people who have to build and operate the nuclear vehicles. Yeah. Like, the people who run nuclear plants, pretty damn decent. I mean, Japan's Fukushima... they actually did a lot of work, especially at the, the second nuclear reactor. So, like, the Daiichi is where the issues were, but Daini, they were able to prevent it by, like, they all went out to their cars, apparently, and hooked up their car batteries to power the cooling system or something insane like that. And, like, they're fucking hardworking. And I think they didn't have as bad issues as the Daiichi plant. How bus drivers drive. Yeah, I mean, like, if any of that stuff was happening, like with the rockets in particular, that would be like NASA level people. So I don't think we'd have anything to worry about there. It's more just that we haven't got the rockets actually working properly. With planes, though, then you've got pilots involved, and pilots are very well trained, but it's sort of not that astronaut level of trained. Anyway, so the point being that you're not going to fly planes on nuclear energy. You can't put enough batteries on a plane to still have the plane function for carrying passengers and cargo. You're just going to take up all the space flying a battery around for no particular reason. So planes are still going to need jet fuel, right? And you got to find a way to make it. Solar and wind isn't going to do that because they're so intermittent. They're having enough trouble keeping up with just regular base load for the population. And as people have their fucking electric cars, that's another problem with electric cars, is now you've got to produce more energy. Yes, you're using less oil, less petrol, but you've got to get the energy from somewhere, and fucking solar, like, you know, you're trying to, it's just, good luck. Anyway, yeah, so you're gonna need jet fuel for these planes, and if you had, like, you know, you can use like, solar has its uses. I think solar is good in an emergency situation. So, like, you know, bushfire's gone through, it's taken out all your power poles. You know, like, a lot of farmers, when we have bushfires in Australia, there's a volunteer group who go out and rebuild all the fences. And so can you imagine, like, all the power poles come down, you've got to wait for the energy company to come in and reconnect stuff and make sure everything's safe. So in the meantime, you fly in, like, you could fly in your diesel generator, or if you had, like, these little kits full of solar things, you can get people enough power to get them by until things are working better. You know, that's what that's good for. Or if you live so remotely that you can't possibly connect to the grid. We have this problem where, and I think this is a problem in a lot of places, but, like, you know, people are like, oh, but you're in Australia, you have so much sun in the middle of nowhere, just build your solar plants there, you've got plenty of empty land for it. Okay, yeah, they've done that, though. They've built their solar plants, but because they're in the middle of nowhere, they don't have the cables, the infrastructure to, like, actually get the power to where it's needed. You know, they need so much space in the middle of nowhere, they can't connect it to the grid, and it's so expensive to connect it to the grid, and then you have to go through all these different landowners to try and connect it, and you got to make sure you don't accidentally trample sacred sites, because there's a lot of them on the landscape. It's just like, you know, good luck. But, you know, that same issue of trying to connect things to the grid also means that in certain locations, people don't have access to the grid. And yeah, you know, you could keep getting diesel in, but then you've got to keep getting the diesel in, so for your generator. So why not have some solar panels, maybe have your diesel backup, maybe have a battery backup, although there's been a lot of problems with solar batteries exploding, and you kind of don't want that in the middle of the bush, so I don't know. You'd want it to be a damn good, reliable battery and know that it's not going to blow up on you and cause a bushfire. But anyway, no, you can have your solar panels, your diesel backup. You're in the middle of the nowhere. It works really well. Hey! We were doing a thing! We've already... You missed all of this! I was trying to explain to people how you did the thing, but your videos of doing this stuff aren't there anymore. So I linked your channel somewhere in the chat as well, in case you do post more of those videos so people can actually see this in action. But yeah, no, we went through the whole thing. And now we're ranting about nuclear energy. Yeah. So, like, there's a lot. I think we've been going for almost... How long have we been going? Almost 2 hours. That was a while back. But yeah, before I forget what I was talking about, like, my point being, if you have, like, solar's good for certain things, and you can still have that, but I think you need to have the nuclear energy to help with base load, because solar and wind's not coping, really. And we've also tried to improve, we've got some hydropower, we've been trying to improve that, but the drill got bogged down, and apparently there's something to do with toxic gas and other things that were bad for the environment, and it's just like, shit, they're trying to fix one environmental problem and causing a bunch of others, and the costs are blowing out. It's like, you know, you talk about nuclear being expensive, but then we've got this project that's supposed to be better, and it's just fucked. Yeah, so we can't even get the hydro to really back up things well enough. Like, that was supposed to pump the water up when the solar and wind is doing really well, and then you let it out sort of like as a water battery. No, I think for base load, for large populations as well, you really need the nuclear power. And then once you get the nuclear power set up, you can, especially the modular thing, you add more modules. Soon, you know, if you kept going, you'd end up with this surplus of power. To me, it makes sense to find a way to carbon capture and convert that into a synthetic fuel, use it as jet fuel, then you have carbon neutral jet fuel. That would be fucking amazing. How else are you going to make that? I know that they're trying to use renewable energy to make the hydrogen for that, like, you know, hydrogen gas, though, or like just in general trying to contain hydrogen, because it's such a small molecule. It's really hard to stop it from leaking out, so there's issues there. And the other thing, though, is like if solar and wind are struggling to keep up base load, how are you going to have that extra energy to dedicate just to hydrogen for flying your jets? Whereas nuclear, it's very easy to get access. Like, to the point that France is exporting a lot of nuclear. I know they're not 100% nuclear powered, but they have enough that they can export to people like Germany, who shut down all their nuclear plants, decided to go for renewables, and then realized they can't hack it, and then they're reopening coal plants and like digging up the landscape to find more coal because they've completely fucked their system. It's like the France versus Germany energy contrast. Like, it's a real interesting case study because they're both European. They're close enough that, you know, you can consider conditions to be reasonably similar. And one made the good choice to stick with nuclear, and the other went with renewables to try and be more green, and ended up doing more coal instead and relying on Russian gas and just like fucking themselves over. So that's a bit of a rant about nuclear energy. How did we even get onto this topic? My God, you guys are so good at getting me like into this random stuff. Maybe it was something to do with the EVs? Oh dear. I'm like scrolling up the chat, and that was a lot of stuff. Holy crap. Something about my wiggly arms as well. Shit, I don't even know. But yeah, no, I think at some point I was looking through my attempt at scheduling my life, and it just hasn't worked out. But no, okay, here's my draft, as well as like trying to do what am I going to do at certain times a day. Like, I'm aiming to wake up at 9:30. I'm live streaming tonight, so it's probably not going to happen because I will after I live stream, I tend to need like an hour or two to just like chill out, get ready for bed, get my brain out of YouTubing mode. So then I stay up too late. But yeah, no, I try and wake up at 9:30, water my plants. I think tomorrow it might rain, so maybe I don't need to, and if I know it's raining, I tend to sleep in. But anyway, 10 o'clock, have my breakfast. 11 o'clock, singing warm-ups, because I've got to try and sing every day. 12 o'clock, ambitiously, it says practice/recording. Recording. I just haven't had the energy to do any recording. You know, I've got to re-record some demos for band at some point, and I want to do some more covers, and I've got to re-record vocals for my next song that I want to release from my solo project. Anyway, I should just do practice at this point. It doesn't tend to happen. I've sort of spent a bit too much time on the phone, and then a bit too much time on the internet looking up lipsticks and shit. Then I've got 1 p.m. lunch, and then I've got like a gap, and this is where like what do I do each day could potentially fit. Around 6 o'clock we've been having dinner. 9 o'clock I've got trying to watch Xena. 11 o'clock, it used to say bed, but now it says get ready for bed. So when my phone says, hey, go to bed, that's when I should get ready for bed, but we've already ignored it, so you're not my mum. Anyway, so my draft thing in terms of day to day, there's a few things I want to tweak, but Music Monday, and when we've been doing band stuff, usually that's been on a Monday, although we've now got another, so it was just me and the guitarist, and we used to do stuff on Monday, but now we've got another guitarist, and so fitting in with everyone's timetables is probably going to change stuff. They've got to do stuff together, though, so I'm kind of useless at this point. I'm just trying to help find a drummer. Music Monday, I could work on my own music. I could just do singing, like my singing practice, just anything to do with music. I don't know. And if I write music, I could live stream some of my process, but sometimes I need to listen to other music as part of that process, and then I would get copyright issues, so I don't know how practical that's going to be, but maybe when I get up to like the more refining part of it if I write anything new. I don't know. Then we've got Tree Tuesday or Tunes Tuesday. So we could still do music stuff, or we could do trees. Either one. I don't know, Tunes Tuesday has a bit of a ring to it. I don't know, 2 music days in a row might be a bit too much. Unless I was on a roll. Then we've got Wildcard Wednesday, but I also later thought it could just be whatever Wednesday. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? What's today? I don't even remember. See, this is like the passing of time is so slow that I think it's already tomorrow. It's not. It's Wednesday still. So today could be whatever Wednesday. Whatever. Or Wildcard Wednesday. I don't fucking know. Tree Thursday. Doesn't sound as good as Tree Tuesday, but I don't know. The thing about Thursday in Japanese, I'm pretty sure it's mokuyobi, and when you look at the kanji, it's actually like tree day. So like, Monday is moon day, Tuesday is fire day, Wednesday is water day, Thursday is like tree day, Friday is money day, Saturday is earth day, Sunday is Sunday. Like in terms of what the kanji says. So yeah. Moon, fire, water, trees, money or gold or metal, earth, and then sun. So when I think about Tree Thursday, it doesn't sound, perfect, but in terms of the Japanese, it makes sense. Tree Thursday, because it's tree day. Then we got Fashion Friday. Maybe that's the day I dress up. Although, like, every other Friday, once a fortnight, that's usually my therapy day, and I don't always wake up early enough to dress up for therapy. So I don't know. Do I want to dress up for therapy? I have dressed up a little bit. I posted some stuff on Instagram about that, but, yeah, I don't know. We got Studio Saturday, maybe, because that's when I was doing studio stuff previously. Not last year, the year before, when I had my studio in Balgowlah. Now I've got it at home. Maybe that's the day that I do art, visual arts. And then Sunday's cleaning day is just, that's already entrenched. But so that's kind of a draft. I realize I don't really have a gaming day, but I guess Wednesday could be the gaming day. Seems like everyone's voting for Portal, so... I mean, there's been a few votes for Starbound, but where is that again? It's definitely like Portal pulled ahead. It's currently at 81% versus Starbound 19%, so, and there's 26 votes already, which is a pretty good turnout for me in a poll. So I don't think Starbound can come back from that. So Portal is probably the next thing that I'm going to play. Yeah, anyway, that's me trying to plan my life, and I think I was talking about that because I haven't got the memberships thing sorted, but because also Leo is the first person to use this tip function, I think. I don't know if anyone's used that before, and that was kind of exciting. So now we've got like 3 of these things have names, and it's just this one that I need to sort out, but I just... if I'm struggling to organize my life, like I have this plan now, I have these sticky notes telling me like a kind of a vague schedule. I should probably like print it out and make it into a paper thing so I don't need to turn on the computer, because if I turn on the computer, I do get a bit distracted by it, and it's the same with the fucking phone. I started using my phone more, and then I get carried away with that. But whatever. I'll make excuses. But yeah, if I just don't turn on my computer, though, I'm probably more inclined to get things done. But it depends, because like, if I'm going to be live streaming, I need the computer. So yeah, I don't know if when the membership thing will actually happen. But that's a draft of kind of how I've been planning my life, or aspire to plan my life. But I've also still got all this fucking junk behind here that I've got to clean up. Other videos I was working on, so like what time of day do I edit videos? Is it worth editing some of them? I don't even know. Like, when too much time passes between me filming something and actually getting to work on it, I start feeling like that's in the past, it's not important anymore. It was probably never that important, but like I'm so detached from it, it's kind of like, what was I thinking when I filmed this? And then maybe my views have changed since I filmed it. Yeah. So that's where I'm up to with stuff and things. Did I cover everything? Yeah, so, where did I put, so yeah, PO box stuff. I'm sorry, like, both of you actually weren't here for me opening your things, Paper Vampire and Scribe Chronicler. I know it's my fault for not planning this stuff, but hey, it's on the replay. But yeah, if you want to send me stuff, you know, I have the PO box, but I would appreciate it if you read, for the rest of you, if you want to send me any stuff, I'd appreciate it if you read the Patreon post. I have been thinking of getting a bit more relaxed about it, though, because when I wrote that sort of guidelines, like, if you want to send me stuff, please do this, because I'm a little bit paranoid about, you know, people stalking, leaving trackers and whatever. But I know that Google and Apple worked on a thing so that either phone, as long as you turn your Bluetooth on, it'll detect those things now. So I'm a bit more like chill about it. And I don't think any of you would send a full-on GPS device to me, because you would have to be desperate to track me down doing that. So I'm sort of like, oh, maybe I don't need to be so strict on having people tell me what they're sending ahead of time. What else did I say in that thing? There's a video about it as well, linked to that. I mean, the obvious thing, make sure you use a service that can deliver to a PO box, because not everything can. I think if you use like a fancy courier company, it's not going to happen. But I don't know why you would use a fancy courier company, because you don't need to get things to me urgently, and that's a lot of money. So I think if you just send it through like standard, whatever your basic postage is, it'll come through our basic postage, and then it'll be fine. But that's the more sensible thing. Give me a heads up to expect something from you. Like, I would still appreciate it. But yeah, no, like, there's some of those Chinese companies, I think, we're sending people dodgy shit, so that they could write reviews about things as if you were a real customer or something. And also, for a while, they were sending seeds to random people, and we've got really strong biosecurity laws here, so, you know, that's some dodgy shit too, and I would be, like, on the lookout for people sending me dodgy stuff like that. So that's why that's the thing. The blind unboxing thing, yeah, like, I don't know, I'd probably still, like, open things before I get home, just to have, a little squiz. But I don't have to be as strict about it. Yeah. But I think the main thing that's changed is I'm less paranoid about the tracking. You know, those little tags, I don't know if we even use them much in Australia, but they exist. And I got the update so that my phone can detect them now. I know, I'm like no one, so why should I be paranoid about that stuff? But it's just the thing in my brain, and I'm like, okay, fucking, I'll do it. But yeah, so people can send me stuff. I am going to renew my, I think that's in April, I'm supposed to renew my box or something, and I'll just keep renewing it, because what else am I going to spend money on? AirPods? No, like, they had AirTags, and then I think Samsung has their own version, and when they released my phone, I think in some countries they were giving people free AirTags, but I think the infrastructure wasn't in Australia yet for it, so we didn't get them. I don't know since then, because I didn't pay attention. But yeah, there was some kind of Samsung tags, and they're like really small things that you're supposed to put on like your keys so you don't lose your keys. In my bag, I've actually got this thing that's like, it's sewn in and it's got a clip, so I just put my keys on that, and then hey! It's gonna do the thing! It's a super chat from Bob O. Bobo? Have a great day! Yeah, thanks for dropping in, and I don't know what time it is. Did you say anything before? I think that's the first thing you said today. I don't know what time it is where you are. It's almost midnight here, so you can track your suitcase. Yeah, thank you. Where's the super chat thing? It's supposed to do a thing somewhere up here. It's a bit slow. Come on, Stream Elements, you can do it. Hey, there it is. And you notice how it updated the thing as well? So it's always like the last person, it shows there, the latest super chat. Hey! Thank you! Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, how, like, you know, whatever time of day it is where you are. 7 a.m! Oh my god, I don't function at 7 a.m. Yeah, no, I guess that's pretty early for you, so whatever you're doing today, hope it goes well. I'm going to be snoozing soon. Yeah, no, time zones are a heck of a thing. Like, I used to write with, this is in, sorry, my nose is getting a bit, in high school, like, that's kind of how I got through, especially early high school, is I had this writing group, you know, the online RPG thing. It's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons, except without dice and without a dungeon master. We kind of took turns being like coming up with the main story or the main bad guy or whatever. But yeah, I was like the only Aussie, and I think everyone else might have been American. And so trying to coordinate when we were all awake, I'd stay up until like 2 a.m. writing this stuff. But they would get up really early. I just find that really interesting because like it's so much more natural for me to stay up late. And so to imagine people waking up early to do things is just like a heck of a thing to me. But yeah, that's what I was doing actually when September 11 happened, is I was riding with these Americans, and yeah, it didn't register it at first, and anyway, yeah, I don't function at 7 a.m. That's one of the things that made it really hard for me at work as well. You know, I mentioned having that really long chat with my boss yesterday. I mean, he's saying half days now, so I could just come in at like, you know, 1, you know, after lunch or something and do a few hours. Or like, you know, helping out with their workshops. I could just do the afternoon workshop for them. So I had to get out of bed when it's cold outside and bed is warm. Yeah. Oh dear. But I got out of bed because of that nightmare I had. Fucking, oh my god. But yeah, no, with bonsai, the shifts I used to do were 9 to 5. And like originally, when I first talked to my boss about doing that job, he wanted me to do 7 till 3. Like, I would have to get up so fucking early for that. But being able to get there from 9 to get there at 9, I would have to wake up at 7. And it was just so hard, especially like as my mental health has sort of gotten rockier and rockier over the past few years. Like, you know, when I got the schizoid diagnosis, it was kind of a relief at first, because I'm like, oh, I finally figured it out. But it just opened this huge can of worms, and I didn't realize that I'd opened this can of worms, and it really fucked me up. Not the schizoid part, but all the implications, and finding out glass child stuff, and dealing with family stuff, and it's just like, yeah. So as my mental health goes, it gets harder to go to bed on time, and it gets harder to get out of bed, and that was one of the things that fucked me up for that job. Doing those full days. And then even the half day, like, it's a fair drive to get there, and like, there's a lot of hills, and driving this little car up and down hills, like, it's fine, it can do it, but especially on some of the uphills, like, you really have to press down on it, but you have to press down on it just so that it still goes up, but doesn't go up too fast, and then, yeah, there's just a lot of stressful driving things there, and some awkward lane changes, and yeah. So, like, to do that whole drive just for 4 hours of work, I know, it's a bit like, I'm just thinking about driving now. Like, I can drive, I've been able to drive to Bunnings, because there is a Bunnings I can get to where the ground is mostly flat, there's not too many hills involved, or if there are, they're like gentler, and the lane changes are less crazy, and it's just a much nicer drive. So I realized, I thought my problem was about driving, but I think it's driving that direction, that route, all the hills, oh, just thinking about it makes me stressed. I think that was one of the things that probably fucked me up as well as like having my noodly arms and my terrible vision. You know, like I mentioned to my boss how I've been live streaming some of my bonsai work, but I mentioned I can only kind of do it for like 1 or 2 hours and then I can be quite tired afterwards, which isn't really enough for a shift. I think there's like a certain minimum, if I turned up for a shift, a certain minimum number of hours that I'm supposed to do, like legally. Not them demanding it of me, but legally there's a certain number of hours for a shift. So I'm just like, I don't know that I'm at that stage. I think I'd be better doing the teaching, because that's not, like, you know, that's a bit more variation. With the, like, physically the detail work is easier, but it's hard on my eyes. And the optometrist was saying, because I'm getting old, my eyes are getting slower to go from different focuses. So the optometrist was saying, like, you know, you should work this amount of time, but then you have to look away. Didn't say how long to look away for, though. And so I'm just like, is that enough time? And then trying to remember to look away, and it just breaks up the flow. Like, then I have to hold my spot and look away for a bit, and then try and remember where I'm up to. It's just a really disjointed way to work. Especially, like, doing that stuff. Like, you get into a flow of it, but then my eyes, and then I think that's why I kept getting headaches waking up the next, because I have not, since I stopped working bonsai, I have not had anywhere near as many headaches. So I really think it was an eyesight issue, which is frustrating. Like, that's one of the reasons, though, that, you know, before I did my music degree, I did try art school, and at some point I realized, like, it's just so hard. Visual arts is quite difficult on my eyes. I have to be careful about what exactly I'm doing and not spend too much time on, like, intense details and so on, and, you know, I guess, like, maybe do things from further away. I don't know. I need to manage my eyesight better. And because my eyesight was getting, like, there was some classes where I think I didn't realize my glasses were getting too weak at the time, my old glasses. Old glasses. And so there was one time we were doing I think that was in, like, a drawing class, and we were drawing a thing in the distance, and the teacher comes along and is like, you haven't added all these details. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, looks fine to me. And I realized I couldn't actually, because it was like, we had a black background and this white object, and I couldn't actually see the details because my eyesight was too blurry. It was like fucking different kinds of glasses for nearsighted things will take them off. Yeah, but see, the thing with taking them off, the distance, then I have to get really close to what I'm working on, so maybe weaker glasses, but then I have to keep changing glasses to be able to see things further away, or fuck around with multifocals, which don't, for short-sightedness, multifocals aren't really done. Maybe I could get them, but I don't really know how that works. It's usually done for long-sighted, you know, old people vision. Yeah, and then the other thing, one of the things that the glasses are good for is, like, especially the plants that I was working on, it was the junipers, and they have those little spines, little needles, and if you have glasses, it sort of helps, you know, if you snip something a weird way or pluck something a weird way and these things are flying around, it's just a little bit more protection for your eyes as well. Because I did try taking off my glasses, and then I'm like, I got something in my eye, we had to flush it out. Magnifying glasses on an arm. Yeah, I gotta say, though, in that studio, the lighting is not the greatest, and because my eyesight's crap already, that also makes it harder. Especially in winter. In summer, it's too fucking hot in that so it's not really a greenhouse, but there is a bit of a greenhouse effect in there. It's too hot in summer, but then in winter, there's not enough light. Especially towards the end of the day. Like, they've got these lights, but they're just not placed in a way that works well for me. And yeah, I don't know. I think the amount of things you'd have to adjust to make it easier for me to work is just like... I think I was saying earlier when I was talking about this, you know, I mentioned to my boss how I've been making all those cuttings. Those cuttings I can do at home, and I can do them gradually instead of doing, like, one big session. A headlight. I have a torch somewhere, though. Did you... I think in one of my live streams I showed off that. I don't know where I put it. I just need to put some batteries on, but it's not a very strong light. It's like a camping light that you can put there. God, I've had that a long time. I had that in high school. It's probably like 20 years. Shit. I'm so fucking old. I mean, the 70s was only 30 years ago, right? That's how my brain thinks. I wasn't around in the 70s, but my brain thinks the 70s were 30 years ago. But no. The 70s are like 50 years ago. Fucking. Oh my god. Anyway, it's just that, in terms of thinking about years, my brain kind of stopped in the year 2000. So my brain still uses the year 2000 as a reference point. Time actually passes slowly for me. That's why I thought it was Thursday, but then I'm like, no, it's still Wednesday. Although now we just passed midnight, so it is Thursday now, finally. God, for me, time goes really slowly these days. I don't know when it happened. Like, time is supposed to speed up as you get older because you have like a frame of reference or something, but for me it's just like really slow, and somehow I don't manage to use that time to do very much. It just feels slow, but without giving me extra time to achieve anything. Because I don't know, I sort of zombie out and then I forget what time it is. And I don't know, it's a weird perception thing. Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, no, it's funny talking to my boss. I can't believe we went for 2 hours, though. I think he misses the conversations with me. Isn't as much to wonder at when you're old. I don't know. The thing with my boss, like I mentioned, he watches a lot of YouTube and gets some weird ideas about things, like about crypto or AI, talking about going to bed. But yeah, no, so my boss is... I assume he's getting a lot of it off YouTube. He does mention some YouTubers now and then. Maybe he's also listening to podcasts or whatever. I'm not actually sure. But I was thinking about it because with some of the things where he gets a little bit more panicked, like about this general AI taking over the world or whatever, with that kind of thing, so when I'm talking to him, I try and do it in a smart way, so I don't just say, like, that's not happening. I'll be like, give him some other reasons, like, clearly those guys are trying to make money off spreading that idea. And then I'll bring it back to, like, an issue that is a real issue. Like, there are real issues with what we currently call AI. And he didn't know about the image poisoning thing. Those, like, AIs that generate images. He didn't know about the artists who are poisoning their images so that they can't be used to train the AIs, and they can actually break the AIs if they're used to train it. He didn't know about that, so I was telling him about that, and so on and whatever. So basically, through the course of all these different conversations, like all these threads we're talking about, I kind of take him away from that more panicked, not exactly extreme view, but sort of like if he could easily slip over and go, I sort of pull him back to the center, pull him back to like where the real issues are. And what I found really interesting is a lot of the time he kind of convinces himself that he agreed with me all along. So I'm like, am I kind of brainwashing him? But then I realized, so he's watching a lot of YouTubers and I'm talking to him on the phone, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a YouTuber. So all these YouTubers are influencing him, and I come along, tell him a bunch of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a YouTuber too, so I'm just influencing him in the other direction. I don't know, it was just a sort of a funny way to think about it. And speaking of going to bed, that fucking dream I had last night, like, seriously, the recurring nightmare of my teeth falling out is pretty bad. And I gotta tell you, like, during this dream, it wasn't just about my teeth falling out. Like, I was going somewhere. I think I was going to see a dentist who was going to help me out with all this stuff. But I had to get there first, and, like, I think I met up with him, and then he's like, okay, yeah, you know where my office is, and then I had to go in this building, and then I get on this escalator, and it starts getting very, what's that movie, Final Destination? I've only seen one, but I got the gist. And so, like, the fucking escalator is trying to eat me or something. Like, I get up to the top of one escalator, and I can see these kinds of, were they bolts or, I don't know, someone had dropped some metallic stuff, and then it goes into the thing, and it sort of broke the thing, and then so the escalator's broken behind me, and it's not working anymore. There's been a lot of broken escalators at some of the places that I've been to, so maybe that's a subconscious thing. And then I go on to the next escalator, and for some reason I'm wearing a tie, like, you know, one of those neckties that dudes wear. And I get to the top, and I think, like, you know, I'm like, you know, this escalator was fine. But then as I turn, it just happens to get caught in the thing, and so then I'm having to pull it, like, it's going, and I'm having to pull this necktie back, and I managed to get it back. But, you know, all that, I'm like, I can fucking handle that. You know, it's just an escalator trying to eat me, that's fine, I can deal with it, I got my thing, I'm moving on. that shit's all fine. But the part where my teeth's falling out, that is not fine. I got out of bed because I'm like, I can't keep having that fucking gym. I gotta check that my teeth are all there. That's what got me out of bed, is I'm just like, I woke up, I heard Mikey leaving around 10ish, and then the neighbors were fucking around, making some noise in the little pathway between our houses. I don't know what was going on there. And then, yeah, I was just like coming out of this dream, like, ah! And I didn't want to risk like slipping back into that same dream again. So yeah, I got up, even though I went to bed at like 3 because I've been fucking around on Instagram. I think I posted, so my band is looking for a drummer, and I posted the ad there, but also asked about where can I get gigs for my solo project. And then, I think because I've been doing a lot of the makeup, wow. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Sometimes I write down my dreams, but that one, I don't need to remember that one. But yeah, so where can I get gigs for my solo project? Because I think it's going to take a while for us to find a drummer. I did get some correspondence from a drummer, and I've sent his details onto the band group to have a listen to the stuff, and then, I don't know, maybe we'll have a group chat. But I don't know, like, if that guy turned out to be the right drummer for us, that would be really fast. But we'll see. My assumption is that it would take us a while to find the right drummer, get into a rehearsal space, get everything up to scratch, and then be able to perform. And, like, what are we going to do? Some kind of music video? Are we going to go deep into that promo stuff, or are we going to focus on live as soon as possible? I'm not really sure what the deal is yet. But so my assumption is that it's going to take a while to get on stage. So then I was thinking, my mood has been struggling without my dog, especially like exercise as well, and trying to have a sense of direction. So I was like, well, if I can get my solo project going, if I can get a gig for my solo project, then I have a tangible deadline, a meaningful deadline, and my brain will kick into gear and be like, right, gotta practice the music, gotta check all my tracks, gotta make sure the backing track for my newest song is all up to scratch and test that. Like, my brain will go into that mode. When I have tangible deadlines, like convincing deadlines, I do the thing. I think that's why I did well in academia, because you have assignments with deadlines, and you get marked on the quality of it. And if you don't do well, you fail, and that's not good, because things cost more, and it's just a shame. I'm too Asian for that. Yeah, I think that's, like, having those deadlines is why I did well in an academic setting. And anytime I've been at uni, like music uni, art uni, I have done a lot more music output and a lot more art output. So I really need those deadlines. And then if I have that deadline, that gives me a focus where I don't feel like I'm floating so much. So yeah, I posted something about that on Instagram. But because I've been doing a lot of the fashion and makeup, this is a side issue. I think people have gotten the wrong idea. And so I've gotten like messages on Instagram and comments on YouTube, which, it's just raised the asexuality issue, because some people, like, one guy was telling me about, for 2024, he wants to find someone to be with and, not be miserable or whatever, which, when guys say that, they're kind of like doing a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, would you be that person? Like, instead of directly asking. I mean, that's the vibe that I get as a female. The dude's too scared to ask a thing, or, is living in some kind of a fantasy world and hopes that you'll just be like, oh, love hearts and whatever. I don't know. But, Instagram's not a dating platform. It's just a place I post images. I'm not trying to attract that kind of attention. I can't give you dating advice either, because what the fuck do I know? So that was frustrating. And then I had some conversations, and people have, like, made some jokes. And then on, I had on that live, I think my last makeup live stream, there was that fetish person who turned up trying to tell me to, you won't be able to see it in the chat, but you can see me reacting to them. They wanted me to wear like a COVID mask, and apparently that's a thing now. They didn't admit it, but like the way that they're talking, like I've had enough experience with those people, like the people who are into glasses, people who are into feet, they all talk in a certain way, and so like I know when they're trying to screw me around. And you know, I'm not, and then, you know, I was saying some shit and I'm halfway through my makeup and they're saying some more shit, and I'm just like, just because I'm doing my makeup doesn't mean I'm into any of this shit. Fuck off. Also, if you're going to do that, you should ask consent. If you're into something weird, don't just try and involve people without telling them why you want them to do that shit. Like, you're not getting their consent if you don't tell them that stuff. It might seem like a normal benign thing, but you are getting this shit out of it. So just don't be a fucking coward. And go on like a proper kink website, for fuck's sake. Anyway, had a bit of that. Also on another one, someone left a comment about me looking sexy or some shit, and I'm like, that's not what I'm going for. So, since I mentioned, you know, like, yeah, finding a drummer, but also I want to get gigs for my solo project, then I'm like, well, I'm here, I might as well mention I'm asexual, and I also wrote a whole EP about it, so promoting my shit. But then it kind of turned into a thing. Like, it went on for a while. I made most of the images in Photoshop because it's just easier than, you know, trying to do it on Instagram. On a fucking, I hate the phone touch screens and whatever. Oh, this thing is not working, so I'm trying to see what I actually wrote. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I put on. Oh, I made a photo. No? I made a folder somewhere. And I don't know what I called it now. Oh, Insta Ace. Okay. Yeah, so I used it as an opportunity to promote that. But then I also listed a bunch of those things. You know, someone telling me to try lingerie, and I'm like, I'm not fucking gonna do that. Yeah, just sort of like putting my foot down. There's no point in me doing that on Facebook because I don't get those issues on Facebook. It's more of an Instagram and to some extent YouTube thing. But Instagram's very visual. It's very shallow. So of course you get that kind of bullshit. And every now and then I just sort of have enough of it and I have to say, hey, by the way, remember this about me, or for all you new people, this is a thing about me. I know the world isn't going to change everything for me, but it would be nice if you actually give a shit to just tone it down. You know, respect some boundaries and whatever. Yeah, and then I use the next few slides. Also, while I'm doing this, I use those slides. I actually added in some music, some of my own music, to promote more of my stuff, but stuff that was relevant. Anyway, but then I got another question through it, and it's like, you know, people asking very direct questions. It was just kind of not appropriate. So then I went on another thing, like telling people about this shit and this whole asexuality thing, which I hate talking about asexuality because then that's how you get those kinds of questions. Why was I talking about that? That's how fucking Instagram's been keeping me awake a little bit too late. But yeah, so I went to bed quite late last night. Because then, like, I think one of my issues was people were asking these very direct, very personal questions in private message. And, like, just me saying that I'm asexual doesn't mean that I'm inviting those kinds of questions. But then I'm like, because I know the ace, like, I'm not a huge fan of the ace community. I'm not a huge fan of communities in general. But yeah, because I'm not a fan of that community, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give an adult, non-activist perspective on asexuality. And so then I did invite questions. And one of them, like I said, make them general questions about asexuality, not ones about me specifically, because I don't like talking about that kind of stuff. It's easier for me to talk about it from, like, here is a factual thing about whatever. But yeah, so the first question was exactly what I didn't ask for, and I'd already answered the question in general terms. But then after that, I got some more music and questions, which were about, like, what have you been watching lately? And so I'm taking photos of Xena and the last Jekyll and Hyde adaptation, and writing a little thing about the Jekyll and Hyde thing, which is always a bit risky. But anyway, and then there was another one about One of my metal friend asked, like, what does the fox say? And I actually have managed to avoid that meme, so I don't really know what it's about, but I was taking a photo of another thing going on another tangent, and it just got really late. So I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night, and then got out of bed at 10. Like, I did wake up a couple times, maybe, and had to go to the toilet, and then, but yeah, then I had that dream. I woke up, drifted off, had that dream, and I'm just like, even though I haven't had that much sleep, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. I mean, it's still 7 hours. That's not too bad. That's within the healthy range, right? Fuck it, I'm getting out of bed, even though I feel fucking tired. I'm not gonna go back to sleep and have more dreams about my teeth falling out. I didn't mind it so much when I was dreaming about lipstick. But dreaming about the teeth falling out, fucking no. Anyway, so that's that ramble. Where are we up to? I think if there's no, I'll give you some time. How is the lag's not too bad this time, I think. Right? But I will give you some time if anyone wants to throw another question at me, but it is past midnight. I know, I started the stream late. It's just, with all the noise, and people doing things, and I just can't, like, you know, sometimes I just can't. Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the lag thing. 10 seconds, go to bed. There, I saw that one as it came up. So, is it still 10 seconds? I know it takes lag to get on the, this thing. But yeah, how badly was that? Is it still 10 seconds? No, I didn't quite. I don't know, how many, I can't see on this thing how many people are watching. Oh, there's actually quite a few people watching. Well, like, I'll give you a chance to, I'll give them a bit more of a chance, because the other thing is, I don't know, have ads been playing? I think they insert ads in live streams, like, at random points, and I don't know when it does that. So, just in case someone got an ad. Fucking knows, though. What am I gonna do tomorrow? Oh, you got an ad at the start. Okay, yeah, because I think that's normal, but then they're telling me, oh, we're going to put ads in the middle. I don't know if it actually happens. No, what was my, tomorrow, where's my sticky note? Tree Thursday, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so what am I going to do tomorrow? I gotta try and think of something so I don't just sit around looking at lipstick products. I could go out and actually try to buy lipstick products. I'm still trying to find out about a few things, though, and what I'm supposed to do on Friday. And yeah, anyway, I should go to bed so no one has... Oh! I never get ads because I use Brave browser. Okay. Yeah, I know, like, YouTube's been trying to do shit with ad blocking. I would say that with Mikey's tablet, putting it in kids mode has worked. Like, I've seen it. He clicks on an ad and it tries to open another screen, but it says, you don't have permission to do that. So then he can't install any more weird hentai bullshit. That was just like, oh my god, Mikey. And, you know, when I was talking to my other brother Dave about it, he knows what I'm talking about, but I don't think my parents know what hentai is. So they probably saw that. I don't know if they even saw the notifications, but they're really bad. But if they saw the name of the app, it wouldn't have clicked. And it was also like, it's an AI role-playing thing or something, and so it's sort of like hint AI or, you know, some kind of weird clever name. So I don't think they would put two and two together. But they also didn't know that a while back he had a crypto app on there. And he had his payroll app and his banking app. I had to delete so much stuff. He had Lorna Jane. What is he just doesn't buy Lorna Jane? What the fuck? So I had to go in and just delete all this shit. And then lock down the tablet. But I think it's good now. YouTube Kids seem to do the trick. So the ads are still there. They just don't screw it up for him and make more work for me. And no one has taken it out of kids mode. So yeah, that's a success. I just need a success on my lips now. Maybe tomorrow I will try the red and black blending. It'd be more fun if I've got somewhere to go. I really have been so low energy though, so maybe what I'll do is I'll see how I wake up in the morning. I'll see how I wake up in the morning, and if I'm like really exhausted, maybe I just make this week a relaxing week. Or maybe I'll just clean up all this stuff. I also want to clean up, like, I need more places for stuff, like, you know, the perfume thing. Oh, fucking focus. Hello. You know, I've got like all these perfumes. I'm thinking of cleaning up some of these little things, getting rid of things that I don't need. Maybe I'll start making the mystery box things. Then I can make some space. I can make like one of those shelves be for perfume stuff. Maybe I can put some, I don't know, makeup stuff. Or like, I've just got too much stuff and I need to clean things up. I've also got like in that area, there's a bunch of stuff. I want to get rid of the Pokemon stuff. There's other things to need to clean. There's like my old pottery in there that I need to like dust off, decide what to keep, cleanse them all. So maybe I could make tomorrow a cleaning day. Like not a regular cleaning day, but a tidying my shit Thursday. I probably won't live stream because I'm going to be between rooms trying to figure out where everything's going to go, and it's just going to be too chaotic. Yeah, tidying my shit Thursday. That sounds like a plan. So, where's my scheduling thing? I'll wake up whenever I fucking wake up, because I'm not going to bed at the time that I planned. I wake up. If it's not raining, I'll chuck some water on my plants. I think, like, to be water saving and good at all that stuff, you're supposed to water stuff before 10, but if I have to do it after 10, you know, I've got severe mental illness. I'm allowed to do things a bit differently, and if people get upset about it, I'll just be like, well, society has failed me, so I will fail society in return. Yeah, water my plants, have my breakfast. Should I do some singing warm-ups? Probably, because I do need to work on my voice. I find when I haven't been singing for a while, it does get rusty. But now that I'm starting to get back into the singing, I'm noticing I can pull off stuff that, like, every time I have a break from singing and then come back to it and build it up again, I'm like, shit, I can do a whole bunch of stuff that I couldn't do before I had that break. And I found that with violin as well. Sometimes I would be practicing a lot, and my teacher would accuse me, this is like when I first did violin in primary school, my teacher would accuse me of not practicing, and I'd have been practicing heaps. But then I would, like, just not practice for a bit, and I'd go to my lesson, and she'd be like, wow, you've been practicing. So for some reason, I think my brain needs the downtime to process stuff and learn things, or maybe like practicing, I get too much fatigue that fucks up how I don't know, it's something weird about me. I mean, I'm fucking weird. Anyway, no, but I should do some more singing and just like get into more of the habit and get on top of that. Singing, warm-ups, practice, I don't know, lunch, maybe after lunch I start cleaning up, but if I feel like I'm already going, I've got to start cleaning before I get distracted, you know, looking up lipsticks or whatever the fuck. I need to get cleaning before that happens, so we'll see. It's really going to depend on how I feel in the morning, I think. When you practice so much, you begin to unlearn. I don't think it's unlearning. I think fatigue is probably the more likely thing. Like, maybe I'm overdoing the practice when I do it, or I don't know. My brain is weird, though. Like, with the maths, like, I did the highest level of maths at high school, and my teachers were, like, weirded out because I would fuck up the easy questions, but I do really well on the hard questions, and so I think, like, you know, my brain just does things like that. Like, it pays more attention to things that are difficult and less attention to things that are easy, and I don't know, it's all screwed up. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, at some point... Oh, my question is, when do I put on my lipstick? Because I can do lipstick and sing, and actually, I do want to know, like, today when I did the lipstick, just the purple, I did straight purple over the lips, over the purplish, the sort of pinky purple lip stain. Just singing that inside edge, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see my short yet, but the inside edge came off. So maybe I'll have breakfast and get dressed and all that. And then before I start singing is when I'll do the lipstick. Try and blend it out, the black and the red. Then I'll do my singing, see how noticeable it is, having that combination. And then I can have lunch and see how it survives lunch. And then after lunch, I will start cleaning my shit, deciding where things are going to go. I might make some mystery boxes and we can figure out later how we're going to, you know, if anyone wants a mystery box from me, how we're going to manage that. We'll figure that out later. But if I can get the boxes sorted, I don't know how many boxes there will be, mind you, but if I can get some of that going, that could be kind of fun. I don't know if any of you want a box of trash from me. It'll be like Pokemon stuff, maybe some plushie stuff if I don't want them anymore. You might get some pottery from me. Yeah, cool. I have a plan for tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm going to make Friday my going out day, I think. Especially if Friday is Fashion Friday and I dress up. If I dress up, I'll feel more inclined to go somewhere. So that, yes, we have a plan for like tomorrow and possibly Friday. I've got to find out a few more things about Friday, but we'll see how we go. Great. Having a plan for tomorrow makes this a productive live stream. Alright, I'm going to go. I think I've rambled enough. Thank you, Paper Vampire and Scribe Chronicler. I'm glad you guys made it in the end. I'm just sorry you missed the part where I actually opened your stuff. And like I went through the whole Scribe thing. So go back earlier. I think it happened in the first half hour to an hour of the live stream. So go back, see all that stuff. And yeah, Scribe Chronicler. If you've got videos of you doing that stuff, I did shill your channel for people to watch that, so... Because that, like, I tried to explain it, but I think people really need to see how you do this artwork. Because that shit's cool. And yeah, so... Unfortunately, you're gonna have to go back into the earlier stuff, because going through all the things. Thanks for joining me, thanks Leo for the tip, and Bob O for the super chat. And I don't know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm gonna go. Shall I chuck on some music? I'll just play the same music I was playing before, but maybe we'll skip through the song somewhere a bit. I don't know, just start it somewhere randomly. I will fade it in so you don't get your ears blasted off. Alright, I'll see you later, guys.